from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat Cape gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You wanna get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you about today?
Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon.
Ba-da-ba-de-da-de-ba.
Spoon.
Skiddy-biddy-biddy-da-ba-do.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Kua. Bese kua, kudileo. Kudileo.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon radio station. Spoon television.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. to spoon. If you eat kepan, gradually, my brother, two to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, two to spoon. Yeah, two to spoon. You wanna get a news update, two to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you got today?
Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon.
Bada.
Spoon.
Skibidi dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment.
Kua. Bese kua, kudileo. Kua, kudileo.
Tons of spoon to get your information. Tons of spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon television.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
Tons of spoon to get your information. Tons of spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just two to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just two to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, two to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, two to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just two to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, two to spoon. Yeah, two to spoon. Yeah, two to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, two to spoon.
Okay, so you're from Vanjaman, you're from Maryland, you're from Sino County, you're from Grand Cape County, you're from Bowman County, or maybe you're from Nimba, you're from Bon County, across the 15 counties of Liberia. Tune to Spoon, because this is where you get authentic news. This is where you get to know about the happenings across the country. You want to know what the policymakers are saying, what are they doing, what are their workings. You want to engage with the policymakers. You want to hear them break the news. You want to know exactly what the issues are. You want to get objective analysis around the happenings in the country. This is where you get it. Of course, Spoon Talk is back on your radio. We are live on Spoon 107.5 FM. We're live on Fabric 101.1. We're live on Super 95.5 FM. Many thanks to the partner radio stations across Liberia that are always relaying the program. Many thanks to Trust FM in Bomi County, Gibi FM in Kakatama, Gibi County, Trend Radio in the southeastern part of Liberia, that's in Grand Crew County, and of course, thanks to Premium FM in Bon County, Central Liberia, and the host of other radio stations for always relaying the program, Spoon Talk. Making sure that our people across the borders of our country are informed every single day with respect to the happenings in the country. And yes, I want to say thanks to the folks as well, the folks online who have come on here tonight. As you know, we are always live across the internet. We're live on Facebook, on Spoon TV with over 500,000 followers. We're live on Fabric TV and we're live on Super TV. Thanks to our YouTube audience, we're also live on YouTube. And our YouTube handle is Spoon Talk Live. So, in case you are following us on Facebook, you are yet to subscribe to the YouTube channel, just try to do so. Of course, you can find us on YouTube. Spoon Talk Live is where you get all of our programs, all of the information across the Spoon Network. And again, I like to say if you're following Spoon TV, and you're not following Fabric and Super, just kindly follow the other two handles on Facebook to be up to date on the happenings here. I'd like to say welcome. Thanks again for joining us. My name is Nelson Collier. We're here. Spoon Talk is back on your radio. Kindly share the program as you join us tonight, because this edition of the program is loaded. Lots of fascinating issues to talk about here tonight. And so I'd like to welcome Dr. Richardson. I see Dr. Richardson is already in the background. Welcome, Dr. Richardson. It's good to see you.
Nelson, good to see you. Hello, Liberians. How are you doing, Nelson?
Yes, I'm doing well, and I'm glad that we're here again to talk about Liberia and playing my own role, here producing and making sure that the People's Program goes on. So I'm glad to be here again, Dr. Richardson.
Absolutely happy to see you. As James would say, God money, all of us.
Yeah.
God money, Liberia. I know today the road safety measures were in effect today.
Yeah.
So I know we'll be talking a lot about that. So as James told you, share the show. There's going to be a lot of issues to discuss today. So thank you for joining us, but I really want you to share the show. A couple of things that are coming up for us. On Friday, we're going to have the women who are here before raising money for the surfing tournament in Grand Cape County. This is one in its first, I believe, tournament that will be held for among African countries that have surfers. And Liberia is going to be the first country that these surfers will be coming to. And it's going to be historical because Cape Mount has one of the best surfing destination in the world, in the entire world. Can I repeat that again? In the entire world. So we have something to be proud of. And so Cape Mount was selected as a destination to start the surfing tournament. So all roads will lead to Cape Mount. I know that it started May 23rd. Can you check me on that too, Nelson? I believe it's May 23rd. Spoon will be there covering the event. But as I told you before, we're talking about the guys who deal with water business. My grandson, as young as he is, 3 years, he can say, "Mommy, you don't say water, you say water, water." Well,
right from the
I said, MKJ, do you want water? He said, "Mommy, you don't say water, you say water, water." He said, "I can pronounce it water." I said, "I can no pronunciation water." So yes, you can put that up. So the surfing, please put that up, James. Nelson, please put that up. Yes,
Okay.
as you can see, the Liberian Surfing Association and African Surfing Confederation present Africa's Tour 24, Surf to Rise. We are going to rise, Liberia rise. So what an appropriate theme. Surf Up, Liberia's joined the water wave. Support your local surfers as they compete on home waves in this international contest. So this is going to be from May 23rd to the 28th. Rawa Sport, so all roads lead to Rawa Sport, Grand Cape Mount County. It's a place where we're going to show our juice. We call ourselves Pineapple. Every day when we come here, we say the international people want to take this, they want to do that, they want to develop our country. Now, this on Friday will be an opportunity to give you the $1, you the $2, you the $25 to show how we want tourism to move forward, to progress in our country. So I'm looking forward to to them coming. Now, all this issue about road safety happening in the country. Tomorrow, we're going to have someone from Road Safety Action International. It's a nonprofit organization. It's headed by Eric Judge, I believe that's Eric's last name, and he's going to be here talking about road safety issues. So come with all of your questions. He's going to come like early, around 7 o'clock. We're going to start the show so that he won't interfere with the Spoon Talk show. So he'll be here. So like come in with all of your questions. It's going to be discussing road safety. Road safety is a big topic now in our country. I saw some very funny pictures today, Nelson, some very, very funny pictures. So he's going to come here. It's going to be 3 o'clock our time and 7 o'clock Nelson's time. He's going to be in studio, and we're going to be talking about motorbikes. We're going to be talking about the traffic signs. We're going to be talking about the roads. And so he's going to be giving us some insights, and as well as taking some feedback from you. So, Nelson, what do you make of the pictures? I saw some really, really interesting pictures today. I don't know if you want to talk about that now, or you want to talk about the that actually just tell us the trending news, and then I want our full team to be here when we discuss what is going on in the country today.
Okay, yeah, Dr. Richardson. Though at some point there was a little bit of break in, but a lot has been happening in the country. Well, to begin with, the 12th graders in the country. WAEC Liberia commenced the wax exam today across the 15 counties of Liberia.
Amen.
So,
we shall love
say, come again.
You said they started to take the test today.
Yeah, so over 50,000 12th graders from across the 15 counties of Liberia commenced writing the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, WAX for short. And so that process is expected to continue. So it started today. It's going to go on to the 5th of June, and that's for 12th graders. And we're informed that the 9th graders, the 6th graders, and 3rd graders will equally be writing the exams as well. So that's just for a start. With respect to the training issues, the students were beautifully dressed today in the different colors of uniforms across the country, as they were seen going to sit for the exam and coming back as well. So yes, so that's the first one too.
So I have some memories of that exam, Nelson. When we had to take that exam, our principal, the late Mary Brownell, she was the principal of my school. She was quite an educator. We had to be spread out, like maybe, I want to say maybe 3 feet apart in the gym. Wow. Because there was so many, the entire, so we had to know, you couldn't, there was no way to, you could ask your friend or anybody like that. So I have sitting down in a big gym, like a gym setting. Beaumont's had one of the biggest gyms in the country. So she would spread us apart, at least 3 feet apart, and we had to sit there for a long time taking the exam. What I didn't like about the exam, from my recollection, it was a great exam, by the way. But I felt like there was a lot of questions about other African countries that I didn't know about. I mean, I'm glad I was asked those questions because, I need to know. We should have known about it, but maybe I wasn't paying attention in class. But I felt like I wasn't prepared enough. I knew a lot about our culture. I think when I remember social studies, I remember when they asked me questions about other African countries. I was like, I don't know anything about this African country that they asked me about. But I hope the curriculum in the schools these days are including, social studies about other African countries to the extent where our children will pass. But I want to wish them lots and lots of luck. I know they're going to do well. I'll say a prayer. I always tell my daughter, say a prayer before you take the exam. Calms you down. Stay positive. Today is the day. It's here. So there's nothing we can do about it. So, and I'm sure our students will do very well. I'm positive for that. So I'm looking forward to seeing the results that we're going to probably discuss here as well. It's going to be a testimony to our education system.
Oh, yeah. Sure. So they started that process today, and on the flip side, there was a delegation from Liberia. That delegation left on the 12th of May, and they left for Ghana. As you know, Dr. Richardson, there has been this issue with Liberians in Ghana. You know, Liberians who left this country right after the war or during the war went to Ghana as refugees. There has been back and forth with respect to the legitimacy of their stay in Ghana, and at some point there was some demolition exercise carried on in parts of the camp. Um, and then it got to a point where the district government had to take the folks to court, and there was this back and forth. So our government has finally gotten involved. The delegation headed by key ministries, including the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Information, Gender, and other entities. They left on the 12th, and they are expected to be there for 3 days. So by today, which is the 15th, is expected that they have climaxed or finalized the arrangements for those people to leave Ghana. So about 4,300 stranded Liberian refugees in Ghana are going to safely be returning to Liberia following the demolition exercise of the Buduburan camp there in Ghana. And the executive director of the LRRC, Patrick Woozy, have been emphasizing the importance of this effort. And of course, this is going to settle the dust on this conversation that's been that's lasted for a very long time with respect to whether or not those people have rights to stay in Ghana, and some dissatisfaction that some of the refugees have been raising, and the constant demolition exercise, especially so abrupt demolition that will go on most times as early as 5 a.m., leaving so many Liberians homeless, and men, women, and children had to squat in unfinished structures and church buildings, and even stay with friends due to this exercise. So the government of Liberia has finally gotten involved, and so a good number of Liberians are expected back home. The population is about to increase.
Ooh, okay. So it's great that the Liberian government got involved. It's great that a delegation went to Ghana, but what is the plan, Nelson? I didn't hear. What is the plan for integrating the 4,000 Liberians that are returning to Liberia into our society? Do they have housing for them? Are they coming to family members? Some Liberians were born in Ghana,
Yeah.
So those are interesting things that we would like to know, or I would like to know. And yeah, I think that should have been one of the purpose of the delegation. So I'm very sure that they have a plan.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. Go ahead.
And interestingly, Dr. Richardson, this has been one of the reasons why this conversation has prolonged, or this particular action have delayed to some extent.
Mhm.
And at a point, some Liberians felt like, as if the government has neglected those people. And most times when you speak to those relevant authorities, they say, "Oh, we need to make sure that we have a plan in place as to how to bring to those people to repatriate them." And so those agencies or those ministries have been working closely with the LRRC, and as the name goes, Liberia Refugee Repatriation and Resettlement Commission. So there is obviously some plans in the pipeline to repatriate those people and resettle them, as they get back to the country. It's been a long one, and I understand there are some organizations as well that they're working with. They started some process even far before now to ensure that those people return and at least be able to start from somewhere. Like you said, so many of them were even born in Ghana due to how long this whole thing has been. Some of them went to Ghana with their mothers, fathers. Those mothers and fathers are no more, and they're coming back to Liberia, not knowing any relative or someone here to start life with. So
Mhm.
yes, it isn't expected that the government, working with those organizations, the LRRC and other organizations, can amicably address the situation with those Liberians.
Sure. I'm so glad that you mentioned the L triple RC because sometimes when I'm in Liberia, I'm kind of looking around and asking myself,
Mhm.
how can the Liberian government save money? And I was driving by because L triple RC, the office is close to the mansion. I remember seeing a big sign around
Yeah.
that area there, next to the executive mansion. And I was wondering what were the functions? What are who are they repatriating or who are they
Yeah.
resettling? You know, and uh, it makes sense now. I don't know the staff, and I don't know how many people they have on the staff, but it would be one of the offices that I would let go. Honestly, if I had, I know people may not be happy about that.
Reggie, the people listening, or the people, the people will say you want their bread.
Well, you
It's
know what?
suggesting that they take bread from their tables.
Well, I always come here and I talk about austerity measures that we have to
Mm,
prepare for Liberia to move forward. But the question is, but I'm glad you said that, because now I
mhm.
see a reason for, now with the Ghanaian issue, I see a reason for them to exist. But I don't know the extent of their staff or whatever or their office, but or what the guy. I know that I saw them briefly in the budget when I reviewed the budget of how much money was coming in for that particular office. But it's a sad thing, and I hope Liberians that will come back, those that went there as children, like 1, 2, 3 years old, don't have any familiarity with Liberia at all. They don't know our country. It's going to be interesting to hear how they are supported by the LRRC in terms of getting adjusted, living, finding jobs, healthcare. Those are all interesting things, that they will need. I also feel saddened. I have an interesting history with Boram. I call it Boram, but I'm sure there's a better way to pronounce that name, that camp. I have a sister that is buried in that camp, and I actually have on my husband's side, we have a niece that is also
Okay.
buried there. So I know that I understand, that they're looking. I don't know if the burial site is still there, but that's where my heart goes to people who have family members that could not be buried in Liberia due to the war. I fall into that category along with many others. So we have family members that have burial site in Ghana. I hope that will be part of the discussion to please at least preserve those areas for us if they can. I understand that they probably are tearing everything down. Um, so one day, we can get the opportunity to also, take the remains of our family members back to Liberia, where they belong. So yeah, yeah. But we'll see what happened to LRRC. Thank you for mentioning uh,
Mhm.
LRRC purpose and what they're doing and how they've been instrumental in returning the 4,000 plus Liberians who are now in Ghana to Liberia. I hope the Liberians get all the support that they need.
Yeah. So, Dr. Richardson, I know we're going to come to the big one, the news of the day, with the motorcyclist issue. But just before going there, this still on this wax issue. Um, there's a school in the Caldwell area. It's called the Christian Bible Academy. There are 12 graders. Just on the eve of this wax exam, the 12 graders broke down in tears after realizing, or upon realizing that the school failed to register them for the wax exam.
Oh
And
wow!
they were now calling on the Ministry of Education to immediately intervene. So here's the breakdown. So they have a spokesperson that spoke on their behalf to the media, and he said they are over 11, 12 graders. So the school asked them to pay the amount of 25 USD as flexibility fee,
Mhm.
2,000 Liberian dollars for Saturday classes, and 2,000 Liberian dollars for what the school term as processing fees.
What?
And after paying all this money, they then got to realize right around the actual administration of the test that the school did not pay a dime. The school did not register the students. I mean, nothing was done. Nothing was done, and they did not inform the students with respect to the action as to whether they had issues. There were other challenges they encountered for which they did not register the students. Until the students then got to uncover it when they were not receiving their numbers. There's an assigned number for each candidate.
Mhm.
I'll come from WAEC, to those students. And
Nice.
so, yes, but then when the media contacted the principal of the school, he confirmed the information that they did not register the students. He said it was due to some administrative missteps. That's why the incident occurred, but they will try to handle it. Meanwhile, the test is going on. Other 12 graders have already started sitting the exam, and the whole process is going on.
Fire. Get rid of. That is horrible. There's no excuse for having those 12 graders who they pay their money and they don't have the IDs or they can't be recognized. They can't even take the test for another year, right, Nelson?
Mhm.
There's
So
no
yeah,
uh-huh.
so if you miss the test now, you
Uh-huh.
have to wait next year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, before sitting it. But there's something called the private Kennedy examination. It's more like a resetter for those who did not sit the exam, and and it's also for those who graduated at a time when maybe during the war days and they didn't have the opportunity to sit the exam and so forth. They have they can enroll through that process and be able to sit. So maybe that could be another means through which they can be able to sit
Somebody
or
dropped the
wait
ball,
for.
Nelson. Somebody dropped the ball, and that they need to be investigated because there's the private setting that you are talking about. I think it's a good thing for people who may be sick, like you said, people who didn't get the opportunity to
Yeah.
um to take the test because of reasons beyond their control. I'm
Mm.
trying to figure out what were the reasons beyond the school's control that rise to the occasion of not allowing the children to go and take the exam. That will allow.
Administrative missteps.
Ha, okay. So the administrative firing is in order from my end. Investigation is how you're taking people money and then don't do what you're supposed to do as an administrator. It's not fair to the students. I'm sorry, it's not fair to them. What missteps could that be? That should be a priority. You should want your school to do well right now. You should be happy to register your school because the Wyatt and help me if I'm saying it correctly because they have been through so many name changes. That exam supposed to signify how well you are following the curriculum and how well your school is doing. There's,
Yeah.
there's a level of measurement that exam is used for. Okay. And so that should be a top priority. That should be a checklist on any administrator's list. So I'm not sure that what the administrative, except somebody die, the person who was supposed to do that work on the day of the test or the day they were supposed to register, maybe that's the only logical excuse I can think about. But other than that, I don't see what the missteps would have been. And if there were missteps, you should be refunding the students' money until next year.
Hmm. There's this thing in Liberia where we say school fees. are non-refundable. So when you pay for a particular, once you pay for the academic year or whatever, most times, regardless what happens, maybe there's an issue or whatever, most times you don't get it back. Yeah, most times you don't get
The
it back.
people lucky like bro. Let me just tell you, in other parts of the world, they'll see y'all be in court because the school will have to tell us the portion of the money that was used for school fee and the portion that was used for wire. The portion that was used for wire that they wanted to turn would get. You can, if I educated you and you use the school, then that portion will go to the school. But there was a portion that was included for Wyatt, right? I'm sure.
Yeah,
The school system, they will break it down.
Yeah.
So,
certainly. There was a portion there for wax, for the
mhm,
waxes here. Yeah.
mhm.
So and even going back to the breakdown, they said they paid 25 USD for flexibility fee.
Flexibility.
Flexibility.
What
So
that
they
mean?
pay. Yeah. So this whole flexibility thing. The last time I checked, the
Mhm.
Ministry of Education, the government of Liberia, uh, uh, seriously kicked against this whole flexibility thing, that no school should be in the business of collecting flexibility fees. And the reason behind that is most schools will collect this money under the giving the students the impression that you know anyway I don't know how to say this, giving the students the impression that
Talking, Nelson,
the
talking. Yeah,
make it
yes, we had to talk. We had to talk for Liberian people. Those students don't have a voice. Let's go.
yeah, giving them the impression that when you go in the hall there'll be some flexibility for you, you know. uh and again I'm trying to, yeah, but there'll be some flexibility for you. So that's the reason why some of the schools will collect this, so as to maybe have a flexible. But again, the Ministry of Education kicked against this seriously. They asked uh everyone, all schools, even the students, the parents, not to pay anything such as flexibility fee, and they should report it. But this one is coming to light only after the students have been seriously disappointed following all the monies they pay. So they pay flexibility fee, they pay for a Saturday class fee. So that's the regular. So aside from the Monday to Friday, you go Saturday for an extra class to do a rehearsal, a tutorial, or whatever. So they pay 2,000 for that, and they pay another 2,000 Liberian dollars for what the school termed as processing fee. So after all those monies,
Nelson, I'm sorry. I know you're doing a great job explaining the flexibility fee, but that's a hard thing to even imagine or even to sort of articulate or to spell out flexibility. What my what?
it's hard to say, Dr. Richardson, because it's
What?
straightforward. Is somehow, yeah, but they collect this money so that the hall will be flexible for the students. That's how they put it. Flexibility fee. So somebody just posted in the comment section cheating fee or spying fee.
I saw that. That's what it sounds like. You know, Nancy Eastman, you're so right. It's, whoever Nelson, that's what Nancy is saying. Flexibility. Well, okay, now we know. So if you're a parent in Liberia and you see that flexibility fee listed on the amount of money you have to pay these schools that are included in their tuition or the fees that are sent to you, please ask plenty of questions about that, because the hall does not expand and contract. So that it doesn't get the hall, it doesn't get flexible. The seats don't expand. There's no
There'll be extra space in the hall after you pay that fee.
so your brain will not be expanding, not contracting during that test. Everything you mean is seen, so there'll be no flexibility or anything. So yeah, please ask me a question. But that school has to be investigated seriously by the Ministry of Education, because everything that you're telling me, something smells funny. Something doesn't smell good to me. So they need to be investigated seriously. You know, all Saturday school fee and all of this stuff the children spend their time. And you know what? They'll not even reform them if we had a good court system in the country. Not only reform them, but any inconveniences, duress that those children experience on the Saturdays that they were going to study will be included. They will measure it. They will find a way to measure it and make it come to life for them. They need to be investigated. The school needs to be investigated. The children need some kind of refund. The parents need to be, involved in yelling, telling the school how they feel about this. All right, and the Ministry of Education needs to investigate them because it's just too much. This is too much. This is broad daylight stealing, completely. And the school is supposed to model good behavior to our students.
Yeah.
And if you beginning to tell them about flexibility fee, what does that sound to our students? Are you beginning to tell them that we, the adults, were responsible for registering you for this big event in your life, this hallmark event, this test? Because for me, I remember when I didn't sleep at the time. We used to call it West African Examination test. You guys have Wyatt and Watts fee and all Watts, what you call the test. That was a big event when I lived in Liberia. This is before the war. You had to you had to pass that exam, number one. Number two, we weren't sleeping the night before. Everybody was anxious about this. You had to pass that exam in order for you to progress to the next class, to move on. Or to graduate. So I don't understand why now today people who are responsible for registering the students, they didn't take their lives seriously. Then you're gonna have the student to wait, or you're gonna hope that they take a private sitting test.
Yeah.
What is that? That's not nice. That is not nice. So if you're just joining us, Nelson and I are talking about the happenings in Liberia, some trending news that are happening in Liberia. He's talking about the Wyatt fee, how a lot of students around the country are gearing up to take the exam, the West African exam, well, for lack of a better word or pronunciation of that, because it's changed over the years.
From Wyatt to wax.
Wax, yeah. You guys, I don't even know what a wax stands for again.
So the wax actually stands for the wax stands for the
West Examination.
No. So the wax stands for the West African. Let me get everything coming order here, because as you said, there has been some changes with respect to that over the time, and so yeah. So let me get something coming through here. I don't know what. Can you hear me, Dr. Richardson?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Is it WAEC? So that's how we call it, WAEC now, right? The guy just Googled something. Are you hearing me? Is it is it WAEC?
Wow.
Is that the abbreviation for that exam?
Dr. Richardson, can you say something again?
Hello, can you hear me? Let me go out and come back again, Nelson. Let me go out and come back.
What is? Wow. Okay, so Dr. Richardson, I think if you are there, then let's try and see. Let's try and see if it's going to come through.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Technology has a way of being very accurate. There was a single button. There was a single button here that yeah, something just went the other way around. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So somebody
I
help
think I
us.
can hear. But a lot of folks said they were hearing you, but I
Yeah,
wasn't getting you. Yeah.
yeah. Go Go. She said it's the West African Examination Council, which is the
No, okay, so yeah,
council
the West African Examination Council is actually the
to.
institution, WAEC Liberia. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's the West African Examination Council. But the exam is the West
Mhm.
African Senior School Certificate Examination. Yeah.
Okay. So somebody
So
did say that. So
it's called the WACS for short. It's WASSCE. You
mhm.
know,
Okay.
some people will say WASI.
Last,
But
yeah,
it's WACS
yeah,
for short. Yeah.
yes, yes. Okay. All right. Well, that's a problem, and it would be amazing how many schools perhaps are experiencing this challenge. We only heard of one school so far, but I'm sure many are experiencing the same challenge. I want to let you guys know that you're joining Nelson and I on Spoon Talk. We are waiting for the rest of the crew to come in so we can have a discussion today about other issues that are occur in Liberia. Um, I also want you to know to please share the show. We rely on you to support and to keep this station alive. As you probably know, we speak about issues on this station that you'll not get anywhere else. This is why you like us. This is why you love Spoon Talk. I can't imagine, I can't tell you how many times I'm out there and many people talk about Spoon Talk. In fact, the conversation just kind of sort of centered around Spoon Talk when you're out there. I want to ask other things like, how are you doing today? But as soon as I'm out there, oh, so yesterday you guys were discussing blah, 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 blah. Did you hear what that guy said on Spoon Talk? I'm like, yeah, I heard it. I was there, you know. But by the way, I want to say, how are you doing today? Is everything okay with you? But it tells us, the power of Spoon Talk and your interests. I'm okay with you, centering and focusing on Spoon Talk. So share the show, share it with the different with your friends. Call a friend to watch us. As I said to you earlier, on tomorrow we're going to have Eric Judge. He is going to be here discussing Road Safety Action. He's from Road Safety Action International. This organization is based in Liberia, and their job is to help educate and address issues that are relating to road safety in Liberia. And what a timely conversation it would be, because we're having interesting concerns about the road safety in Liberia today. The IG of the police department put into effect some measures for people who are motorbikers. And yesterday, you heard one of the president of the Bikers Association was here, put into effect some measures for people who are riding bike, such as you have to have a helmet, you have to make sure your insurance papers are correct, you are registered, you have to be dressed in a certain way, reflective jacket, and what have you. So we'll be talking about that a little bit because today the measure went into effect. So we'll be discussing this. I also want you to know on Friday, the women, Robina Lewis, who's serving as a consultant on this project, Representative Ricks, who is also a representative, a Liberian woman, who is a representative based here in the United States, I believe it's Colorado, and also Dr. Kula, who's basically she works all things Liberia, and Miss Hester Baker. They will all be here on Friday for us to continue the fundraising that we started last week. If you got an opportunity to give, you can give again. If you didn't get an opportunity to give, we ask you to please give. We often come here, and many of you are already read sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes I'm reading your comments and you're saying tourism in Liberia should be great, and this will be an opportunity to contribute to the investment in tourism in Liberia. I want to tell you that at the end, we will tell you how much you donated to this cause as Liberians, and it's going to be done here on Spoon TV, because I believe we Tuesday they'll be back because May 23rd is when you should be going to Cape Mount. I wish I was there. I often ask Miss Dr. Kula, please give me a ticket. Let me go there, but it's kind of late. I don't welcome Fadiga. I call him Fadiga. You can call him, Honorable Fadiga, whatever way you want to call him. But he's like a brother to me, so I call him Fadiga. Fadiga, Fadiga. I was looking at one of our older tapes. I think I was on your show, and I was when you used to have your show, and we're discussing. Actually, it was in the early stages of the CDC government, and we're discussing the CDC government, which I was like just looking around, and I found that tape. So I want to welcome Fadiga to the show. And yes. Nelson, I was just waiting for you guys who are discussing issues in Liberia. So Nelson, you want to tell us anything else that's happening in the country?
I think that's about that. Yeah, so the big one is, of course, the enforcement that was rolled out today. Liberians were saying trekking from one point to another today across the country. There's been different views expressed by Liberians with respect to the enforcement of the no-go zone. From this morning, I saw police had to erect some barricades at some major intersections, push the motorcyclists at a reasonable point where they were allowed to use the community, the Frida Roads, rather than the Tottenham Boulevard. And yes, to a larger extent, the police did well today. And from this morning up to the afternoon hours, and even at about, let's say, around 8 p.m. Liberian time, there's a short video I did out there as well. We'll display at some point on the show. The police officers are still out there as we speak. They're still out there and enforcing this thing. And yeah, so it's been that way. The motorcyclists, some of them are complaining. Some are appreciating the fact that this change is here. They're embracing it. There are other Liberians who see this as challenging, since in fact they just woke up to it this morning. But again, some of them are saying that they will cope as time goes by. But there were a few violators I saw today, and the police, right now as we speak, they are at some of the intersections like Vamuma and other places with the Batum and the Rattans. They were running after some of the guys who tried to violate. And all I can say to folks out there is that if you know your bike is not registered, insured, or whatever, don't go there. And if you're a citizen, you want to get at your destination quicker, but the only means is motorbike. If that motorbike is not registered, don't get in the streets, because don't take the risk of getting behind the person, because when the police starts to go after that person, as per what I saw today, even the person at the back of the motorbike, sometimes you're victimized, because in the process of going after the person, the moving traffic and everything, you don't know what it might result to. Yeah, but the enforcement has been very strong today. That's what I can say to that.
Great. Fadiga, I'm going to let you comment, but I just want to recognize, and I'm enjoying the interactiveness of the viewers, the commentators, and also the listeners. You are commentating. You are just basically, I want to just give a shout out to Doris Tauber. Also, I saw Naomi Kepa. I also saw Dorothy Harvey on there. And you guys are kind of just repeating some of the important information for Liberians to know, especially Doris. Doris is kind of telling us dates of when the surfing event will be. She's telling us dates of when the how long the Wyatt or Watsi is going to be on for. So I want to thank you. That's, some people who join us late, at least they can scroll up and see, that you guys are the comments and what you guys are talking about. So thank you guys. That's we love all of the interactions, good or bad or whatever you guys have to say. That's great. And we'll be taking calls later on. Fadiga, what's on your mind? It's good to see you here today. I'm glad that you're here. And by the way, Fadiga, I know we're connecting like you're right. We didn't get a chance to take picture. I saw you.
I know. And that was my first time seeing you in person, though.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my first time seeing you in person.
All these years we have been talking. We didn't meet in America, but we met in Liberia.
We met in Liberia. That was great.
Yeah, and I came back and I was searching because of course, everybody know me my picture. Since you say my husband can be behind me, and I have a good friend because she has a name for me, picture Etta. She can come in picture Etta because I'm always taking picture. But it comes in handy to today.
Yeah,
I
it comes in handy a lot of time.
Yes,
They
when you
go
have to
back and
show
forth.
where you were at a certain time in events, and you can always go back. And the good thing with iPhone is it dates things. So
Yeah.
if people lie and say you were in that certain
They
place,
even put the location there too.
correct, and
Not
you can
sure I
just
can get a name of location just for
yes. So it's
zero
extremely helpful.
online. Yeah.
Yes, but we'll do it again. I'm sure I'm gonna see you again. Is it true that your brother's here in the
Yeah,
US?
he's there. He's there for a couple of days. He should be back soon.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I how people be making up things on Facebook. I was like, oh, that's true. I did meet of the funny guys.
Isaac Doe. Dude,
I
that's
can.
Isaac Doe. I saw his post.
Oh,
He
it was like
posted in the chat room.
yeah. So I don't pay attention to that honestly. So,
No man, I said yes.
so what's
Just
on your
listen.
mind, funny guy? What's on your mind
Well,
today?
a lot of things. We woke up this morning, like Nelson said, there was a lot of traffic. People complaining about traffic. I don't know why, but we need to come up with our own model. We need to sit down and be able to do extensive research in this country to find out what works for us and what doesn't work. Sometimes we just borrow from other people. We're not original. We're not authentic. We need to sit down and put in the work, and actually study. Today people got by. I spoke to a couple of people. A lot of people. I was at the famous Mary shop, and I saw a couple of girls that said, "Oh, you know what? I had to walk." So, and then I saw a couple of people that came to the hotel here, and they said, "I had to walk." And then some people said, I had to pay $300 just to leave from point A to point B. Those short distances. So I heard a couple of things like that, but I still don't understand why there was traffic, too much traffic. Either I still cannot find a correlation between the helmet wearing and all this something and then traffic. Probably Nelson will have idea on that to know what something. But the only thing that made sense to me was probably because there were a lot of police presence while enforcing the cars couldn't be moving because of the checkpoint. So that's the only thing that made sense because I really couldn't understand that. So probably that was it. That was
People
the
are
big.
looking. How when accidents
All
happen.
over, yeah, and then there were a lot of police, checkpoint blocking those guys. But no,
Okay.
let me just close on it. We
Mm-hmm.
have to be law abiding. You look at a great United. Are you always used to United States because that's the benchmark we use. We shouldn't even be comparing it, but we tend to emulate the Americans. So I think I use that. America is a police state. The police have too much power in America. Sometimes way too much
Not just
power.
the police.
Yeah, the police say don't go, you stop, run to the point that those guys are very arrogant and rude sometimes.
You
You
kill
you,
you.
you must comply, and I wonder why we don't do the same here. But we have to be able to follow the rule of law, and law enforcement need to stay away from the politics and just do the job. Politicians need to stay away. Everybody stay in the lane and do something. For too many, politics got a lot of things that we do in Liberia to the point that nothing gets done. And law enforcement, So that
Yeah.
one of the things that I see. But the first day went by, we didn't see any kind of riot, even though it was slow traffic. We have not seen that kind of traffic for a while. But hopefully tomorrow will be better, and then people will start getting used to it. But I saw some people that didn't have helmet. Um, and then I read a couple of social media posts where people are saying, "Oh, I will not wear the same helmet." Somebody were imagine the heat in there and something, and people are giving every reason why they shouldn't share helmet. Well, if you don't want to share helmet, purchase your own. I know a lot of expatriates that have their own personal helmet. Just buy it whenever you decide to take a motorcycle. Take it with you and be fancy about it. Take it with you, put it in your backpack. When you get somewhere, put it down like a handbag and grab it again when you have to move. I mean, we have to. It is part of our life now. I don't think we want to get rid of it anytime soon, until we can find an alternative.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fadiga, you're right. I really agree with you on the point that, this country, the judges and the police have the most amount of power. How many times have people who didn't obey the police got maltreated, either, or shot dead, and nothing sometimes will come out of it because you did not obey the police order. I'm not advocating for that because I tend to like, civil rights matter, but it is what it is. On the other hand, you know we have to obey the laws. I had an extensive conversation last night after the show because we had the president of one of the biker union on yesterday. We also had a discussion about this, the measures taking effect. We mentioned all of the things that motorbikers needed. For example, their helmet, they needed reflector jackets, they needed to have the paper register, they needed to have the registration, they needed to. I added in they shouldn't build their own umbrellas on on their own, because I saw that many times when they're raining, they tend to like manufacture their own umbrellas. Have you seen that? Funny guy, in on the bikes, and I think that's obstructive, to vision and to drivers, and it doesn't have any size measurement or anything. It's just one person could be small, one person could have a wide one, and I think that's not a healthy thing. And then of course, so the person was telling me, if people, like you said, are so concerned about, sharing helmets, get a hair net, and put it on your hair. Like how when we go to the restaurants around here, if you look at the different cooks or chefs or people who are in the food business, that's what they do. That will at least minimize some of the hygiene or health concerns that people will have. It's not a
Yeah, I
hundred
saw
percent.
that just want to go over the head too, that you do have to cover the face. But those are not as secure as the one that cover you up.
Yes.
So there are
Okay.
some helmet that just, they
That's
have
what I.
either stuff
That's
that,
Yeah, that's what. But I'm talking about the hair net to cover your hair. So that's what this person was telling me. But so we're having a discussion, and usually, if somebody has a cold or a really bad, virus or something like that, um, it could be transmitted to another person. But you can recover, and a cold can get cured. All right. But neurological conditions and accident, those you have to weigh your option. And there's a rise in neurological conditions and death rate among the motorbikers. So which one do you want? Do you want to carry your own helmet? Do you want to buy one of those hair nets to cover your head? I know us women, that's going to be terrible for us, because when you finish fixing your hairstyle, you got to pay money and all of that stuff that you won't mess it up. So, or, do you want to have a neurological disorder? Do you want to die? Which one? We're going to have to choose. But safety is utmost here. Safety is utmost that we need to abide by. It is here to stay. Um, there will be some challenges. I expected to see some challenges today. Actually, I expected to see a lot of traffic block and a lot of problems, with the registration process, and the police trying to work this out. But this is when you start something new, this is what happens usually. It's not new. I was reading up on this as well. This law has been in effect since 2017, I believe, along with other African countries. I think I put that in the chat room. But we never really enforced the helmet using law. So I mean, it, when you say, Fadiga, that we need to develop a system that is best for us, what were you referring to?
like in the West, there are a lot of technologies, the roads, they have the infrastructure where they can mark. But for a country that I don't think we anticipated that Morovia would be plagued with motorcycle. We do not have the road to even mark, where riders can be. So we have to adjust our thinking to those conditions. That's what I meant. So what I think, and a lot of things I put some time into this. There are a lot
Mhm.
of things out there. Like at one point, I thought Liberia it was bad, but there are other countries like Rwanda, Togo. I think the World Bank uh,
Yes.
a study on it.
Mhm.
I don't know whether that was the same document you're talking about.
Mhm.
Rwanda, Togo. in two other countries. Like I'm surprised Liberia was not in a study
Yes.
when it came to motorcycle safety, but they have added technology. The meter on the motorcycle, what it does is it put in that rate that people will still be able to make money because motorcycles they are more expensive than car. What is the Ministry of Transportation doing? Are they going to do something to do more with public transportation, getting more convenient public transportation? Get a taxi driver in the habit of taking people back in the community. What are doing what is done in Ivory Coast, the meter that you can actually get in a car and it actually measure how much it costs, and so that driver will be able to take you in the communities. That when you get in the car, it's something to, reducing all cars on the road. Putting a monitor on certain vehicles that you can use for taxis, so that we have newer taxis. All these things can be done. We cannot always blame poverty. It's not happening in Ghana and other countries. How did they do it? It's not by miracle. They
Nope.
have to put the foot down and set certain standard, because if 20, 30 people dying for something that you say making you money, then it's not worth it. One Liberian, not a single Liberian is going to die because of economic condition.
I
So,
agree.
when I talk about something, so we need to look at our society, look at what is there, and see where we want to be. We cannot always be living in a third world mindset.
Yes. Yeah, Father God, yeah, small, small. I see now, I hear, understand clearly where you're coming from. Like let us do the work. We shouldn't be doing knee-jerk reactions like, okay, we need blah blah blah, and everybody just, scatter all over the place trying to make things work. So there has to be some brain studies, some brainstorming, some thoughts put into, making sure that our roads are built, making sure there's clear signs. In other countries, they have designated areas for bikers. I think in one of the studies we saw that there's designated areas where bikers can be, and cars can be at. So those are the kind of things that, if I think we can grow. We starting small, but we can grow. We just have to encourage the population to respect the law. It's the law. The only way that will allow investors to come in our country to get the money to make these signs for the roads, to expand our road. You see, these things work in cycle. They work together. Is if we start to respect the laws first, then make Liberia a safe place, a safer place. Then people will say, when they read it, say, oh, the Liberian people they're respecting the law. They are orderly people. The streets are not crowded. I'm gonna take Google to Liberia to at least have a call center there. And when that Google comes to Liberia, guess what? You will have a job. That Google will be paying taxes to the Liberian government, and that Google will also be able to help us expand and maintain our roads and make the place better. So all of this work in concert for our own good. I want to welcome Dr. Brooklyn to the show. It's great having you, Doctor, on the show. We're just talking about the road safety issues, which is a big news in Liberia. I believe that we can begin. Nelson, you can also, I think we're good enough here and now to begin having this discussion in its entirety. You can show. I saw some interesting pictures today. I was laughing. One thing I know, we can't take nothing seriously in our country. What?
When they came on the hair, pots on the hair, and women. All the pictures that I saw, actually, they were women.
There we go. Y'all see?
Yeah.
Y'all see somebody here? Dr. Brother, are you frozen? It looks like he's frozen. But yeah, someone everywhere. The people putting pot paint. I saw some people developing their own helmet. What kind of business is this? It's not funny. This is a life and death situation. We should not be laughing. We shouldn't be. I think that if those people violated the law, if they went in the streets like that with those things on their head, they should pay the consequences. They should be fined. We all should be respecting the law, Father God. I don't care how funny it is. Maybe you can put your helmet right in front of your house and take a picture. That's fine with your hat and pot and spoon and everything on your head. So yeah. I want to just also say that your former CEO, Stanton Weatherspoon, is doing well. He can join us anytime. You know how he is Oh, but a lot of people I see are asking for him. He is doing well. He's not, terribly sick or anything like that. But who knows whether he's going to join us tonight? But I just wanted you to know that be at peace. He is doing well. So if you just joined us, share the show. Nelson can continue to share the different pictures you saw. I saw a lot of them. In
Yeah.
fact, I'm sure somebody put it in our chat room too. So if you look in the
Yeah.
chat room, people put it in the chat room. And then let's go over what are the requirements again, Nelson. I know I had copied them yesterday.
Okay, yeah. So going back to the requirements,
Mhm.
number one is that the motorbike should be registered. You
Mhm.
should have your registration document. Um, you should have a license plate on the motorbike. The motorbike should be insured. There should be two riders. Let's say two riders on the motorbike and two helmets for each of the riders. Uh, you should have a reflective jacket, and you should have an operator license. So aside from the license plate, you should have an operator's license. You should have sneakers or shoes on, not slippers. If you want to ply those major corridors, you have two view mirrors. Okay, so the view mirrors should be okay; they should be correct, and two view mirrors on the motorbike. Another requirement is that the motorcyclist should have one passenger. So, like the photo I just displayed, Dr. Richardson, I think here
Mhm.
you see that the two ladies on the bike, and no, so this is totally against the rule, that the safety measure that the police is coming up with. So it should be the rider and another person, not the rider and two other persons on the motorbike. So these are the requirements. But Dr. Richardson, one thing I noticed today is that the transport fare, we have a way of using situations, in this country at our advantage against the other people. I noticed today that some of the drivers who are going to Central Monrovia, instead of going straight to Central Monrovia, where maybe if you're picking someone from 540 here in Congo Town, that's at the ministerial complex, the person will pay like $150. The drivers would rather go to Old Road, where you will pay $100 or so. Then from Old Road, they pick up another group of people. Or if you stay in the car, you go into town, okay, they say, okay, the other contract is finished. Then we're taking another contract from here. Then you have to pay maybe a 200 or more on a distance where you could be paying just $150. Some of the drivers were even increasing their fare today as well, because there is this lack of the motorbike presence on the road, and they see it as an opportunity for them to make more money. And I think this is where even the Ministry of Transport needs to come in with a price update, like they did so many years ago, from point this to the other point. What is the transport fare? So as to regulate what the drivers do out there, because some of them are using it to profiteer. That's what I noticed today as well.
Absolutely. Fadiga, you want to come here? I do have a thought about that, but I want to give you the opportunity to speak about that.
Yeah, people will exploit the situation. It happened with pimping riders too. That like someone pay, I think from 540, the ministerial complex to Vamama House. I think someone told me they paid $300. Even from Vamama House, right somewhere in Single, people were paying $300.
Yeah.
How they're going to regulate the prices, I don't know, but I'm kind of the way this thing is done. Even this other process, I'm a little skeptical about it. I had different thought in mind about how it could have been done.
Okay.
But let's see this and see how this will work out for the next couple of days. It might work.
Yeah. And
Just
yeah, I'm actually interested in hearing how you think it would have worked better. I don't know how well thought of your thought is, or are you still in the process of thinking about it? But
I have some ideas.
yeah, yeah.
what I
Yeah.
think would have happened is this.
Mhm.
The Ministry of Transport needs to come in. Transportation Ministry needs to come in. Look, we do not have an effective public transport. Look, whenever there is competition, people will have to adjust their prices. But this is
Mhm.
where government need to come in. There are a lot of government that have done giving a goodwill. People complain about the road, but there are cars and there are vehicle buses that can at least take the principal street, which I need to have it, on time, like in the West. Uh,
Mhm.
um, Most time those buses were given extra privileges, like the metro. You will see that it will take certain lane. They got
Yes.
certain privileges
Mhm.
because they are public transportation. I don't that could work here in another form.
Mhm.
But we need more public transportation. Even if they're the bigger buses, we need to find size one that will apply on our street. The major routes have more bus stops for people make it to come on time. That will force the taxi and other transportation into being more creative and going in the community because once those major street, why will one taxi just fly from Relay to Wall Street and go back? What
Mhm.
happened to all the different places? People don't
That's
want
true.
to go there because they just rather make the money. They want the exploitation stuff. So if government can take on those major things, then you will find out that people will start getting more creative. Because before the war, taxi used to take you anywhere.
Yes.
You get in taxi to take. What changed? When they walk in, what changed? Maybe you will see the road, but those same roads were still there. So we
Yes.
probably need that will force some of them to go, and then people will start adjusting to things. But I think the Ministry of Transportation, they need. I wonder why we have that ministry because I don't even see what they are doing.
Well, the minister was here, and I want to welcome Mr. Jackson, commonly known to us as Uncle Sam. Welcome to the show. But I want to say that the Minister of Transportation was here. Remember, he said he raised a significant amount of money in recent times, and he talked about some of his duties here as his duties in Liberia as well. So I would like for him to come back. Actually, this is a prime time for him to be here, and I hope he's listening to some of the feedback that he's going to get from many of you who, have traveled around the world and know a lot about, transportation. So I think your point was well taken, Fadika, when you mentioned the introducing not necessarily. I'm not a fan of these large buses in our country because we're not built for that yet. But I'm a fan of some of the smaller Toyota type buses that can take a significant amount of people from point A to point B, because I think that will also help with the traffic jam and stop people from exploiting the situation. I think anyone caught, and I'm glad you brought that subject up, Nelson. Anybody caught exploiting the situation should be dealt with the law. That's illegal. I
So,
I I,
so,
I
so, so Doug, let me say one thing to what you are saying.
Mhm.
So other countries, what they did to put in control over the price, they forced them to use meter. That way
That's
you can't,
exactly
you can't,
that's what my
you
point I
know,
was doing.
they have it that you cannot manipulate it. Either it comes through the transportation ministry or external agency, and the price is fixed based on the gas and mileage. Something then all the thing will end. Only
Yeah.
other if you probably in the different counties, you can ride your car freely. But if you're in the city, anywhere between here up to Painesville, you have to use meter. That way,
Two things, and I want to welcome Mr. Kennedy to the show. Thank you for joining us. We're discussing this whole traffic shenanigans that happened in Liberia today. But I like that. That's where I was going, Fadiga. So in countries like developed countries and probably some of the countries in Africa, they do have these meters mounted in the car. And I know Mr. Uncle Sam would tell me we need a year to plan that. That's what he said. We
No,
need
I
we need
would, I would never say that. It doesn't
Oh,
need a year to plan that.
oh,
No.
okay. Well, because yesterday you were saying we didn't do enough planning before.
But it is obvious today they
But now, so you're not saying that, but then you
I mean,
agree that.
the mess that took place in Monrovia today, it validates what I've been telling you. But because I'm not a white man, if I was a
Look,
white man
you
with my
on the white
education
man's speech,
and
yo.
my experience, I'll be y'all be hailing me.
Wow, you're on the white man's speech here, but like you
Yeah,
like
but the
all
white man
correct.
speak because I'm not white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
got an fight.
But I knew Uncle Sam said we didn't give, even though I was listening to the president of the biker, one of the bikers association yesterday when he came here. He said they have been having discussions, and this conversation between the motorbikers and and the police have been going for some time. So we will need time. I will agree, even though Uncle Sam said he will never say that, but I believe that in order, because I think those meters have to be programmed, fixed, and then I guess maybe the Ministry of Transportation can sell it. Okay, I don't know the mechanism involving those meters. I'll be the first to admit that, because I don't really have not taken public transportation or taxi in the United States, so I don't know, but they'll be mounted like you said. And what those meters do is they measure the distance between point A and point B, and also tell you exactly how much you're supposed to pay. So if you are a passenger in a car, you will know exactly when you get to your destination what is due. Now, I don't know who manufactured that, where it comes from, and all of that stuff, what goes in the air. I have not done no research on that, but your point is well taken. Another thing, Fadiga, and before I go on to Mr. Jackson and to Mr. Kennedy, another thing is like, Fadiga, I remember when I was in Liberia and I discussed, what's it, the ride program is like Uber.
Right.
Okay. Ride Me it's someone in Liberia is investing into that. It's like Uber. Liberia has its own Uber in other parts of the country. So it's the same system. I have taken Uber in the United States and in other parts of the world.
Here in Ghana has both. They have Uber.
And what happens is, before I even get into the Uber, I know my distance already calculated. I know the assumption of how much I'm going to pay. There's a projection of the distance that I'm going from point A, from my house, to if I'm going to Philadelphia. It tells me how much I'm expected to pay depending on the kind of car I want to ride to. That's also is built in. If I want a fancy black car, that's what they call it, black car, which is the fancier car, I pay more. But yes, so those are ways that we can look into this whole traffic jamming situation in Liberia. But Uncle Sam, since you're not going to agree with me, I'll tell a story on you on the show today. Okay. Please talk to us. Yes, what is that?
Look at the Labrador people making fun out of you. Look at the Labrador people.
I knew you're coming.
You see it?
Mm-hmm, I see it.
This is what in economics we call policy incoherence or policy dissonance. Mm-hmm. Okay, and let me break it down. When you put it in public policy, you have to look at the negatives and the positives. It's like something, and I will get very fancy here with book business. Decision tree theory. Okay? X and O. What are the consequences? Okay? Clearly, you don't have enough helmets to enforce a helmet law. You don't have that ability to do that because the helmets are not there. So the people putting buckets on their head and making fun of the government. But you know who enjoy it today? The elite, like people like Fadiga then. The elite. They are social elite from the Unity Party. The social elite from the Unity Party, they enjoy it. The vast majority of Liberians were walking to work today 5 to 10 miles because of the policy incoherence and the policy dissonance that I warned you about. I did some critical warning. Maybe it's the sound of my voice because it's my little petty arrogance or whatever it is.
Maybe you're white.
Let me finish. Go find a transport economist. Okay, not a transport economist. Go find a transport economist and some people who understand social engineering and ask them in January or February, how do we implement regulations on the primary means of transportation in the country, and let them advise you. Don't listen to St. Jackson. That's what countries do. The Minister of Transport was here the other day. No offense to him, okay? But there's no such thing as a well-meaning public policy. A public policy should not be well-meaning. A public policy should be what? Should be objective and to overcome a particular challenge within the what? Data. data, the simple data to determine whether a motorcycle union and the motorcycle importers and other people in the motorcycle industry, whether they have enough helmets. That was the first thing you should have done a simple survey. And you can pay 4 or 5 LU students then to go and do that survey then and give them some kind of little pocket change. That's what you do. Then you go to the different civil society organizations, the neighborhood organizations, the community organizations, and have an interaction with them, and they will tell you what the problems are. But their top-down development strategy, where you're enforcing some regulation on the people without stakeholder consultation, led to the bedlam in Monrovia today. Exactly. And I said yesterday, I don't want, when I come here 5 o'clock in the afternoon, okay, 5:30, to be gloating about "I told you so." I don't like that. I don't want to be the bad news bear, because people are hitting my guts like all over the country now because they think I don't want the president to succeed. I'm against development. I'm a cynic. I'm a this. I'm not. It's the what it's in experience, education, and my worldview. My worldview is shaped because I've been to a lot of places, a lot of poor countries, a lot of rich countries, and I know how to implement those things. So on that note, let's face it, it was a complete bedlam today. It was a complete, it was a harrowing experience for most of the people in the city of Monrovia. And I hope that all of the LMP, the transport people, everybody can sit back now and say, look, we did this thing a little bit too fast. Let's reorder this thing and let's see how we can do it in a holistic manner. Exactly what I said less than 24 hours ago. That's what I want. But I'm not gloating. I'm not gloating.
Okay, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson is not gloating, believe it or not. Yes, Mr. Kennedy, please come in. I have a lot
of that 2 hours in traffic today.
Mr. Kennedy, please come in. Actually, I share your picture with Nelson. Nelson, Mr. Kennedy put a picture in the chat room. If you're there, please download it. Mr. Kennedy, please speak as Nelson is downloading your picture. He's doing that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow panelists, and good evening to our peace-loving followers from all over the world. We come here every night because of you people.
Yes.
You bring a lot of meaning to why we sit behind this app, or whatever the white man will call it, to discuss issues that are relevant to our country. I personally have a very good feeling about what happened today.
Thank you.
Dr. Robinson, what happened to Dr. Richardson? What happened today give me hope that Liberia will get better. What happened today give me the assurance that our country, although there are some fragmentations in the rule of laws, our country will begin to follow the rule of laws. And the picture I share with you all to put up there is neighboring Togo. I was in Togo a few weeks ago, in Lomé specifically. You see all these people? Mm-hmm. I took a picture while I was in the car on the main boulevard in Togo.
Thank you.
Almost everyone you see on a motorcycle here. And I say almost because in every society there are some disobedient people and they will, want to protest against it. But a majority, over 90% of the people in this picture, you will see them wearing their helmet. And that is both for the riders and the passengers on the bike. What am I trying to show here? What I'm trying to show here is that these bikers have long had their way of violating public safety and risking the lives of our people on a daily basis. I mean, come on, man. You all see how many times these bikers will fall down and people will get their head bumped on the wall. People will die in the process. A few days I had the road safety, international road safety guy, some organization from Congo Town in my office. The data those guys gave me were alarming. That Liberia has come fourth in the world when it comes to motor vehicle and road traffic accidents. Liberia comes fourth as far as their data was concerned. And I will get their name, the name of, I think it's Road Safety.
They'll be here tomorrow. Action International.
Okay, very good. You are correct. They were in my office. They were in my office 2 days ago, saying exactly what's happening around the world. And Liberia is ranked among the first 4 countries that have the highest fatality when it comes to road traffic accidents. So they are trying to cross around. They want to work with MPhil on how we can do some road publicity awareness and a couple of stuff. But what I'm trying to say is that government has really given the motorcyclists a long way for 6 years. And I hear somebody saying, "Oh, they're supposed to call the motorcycle dealer to know whether they have helmet." I bought 25 motorcycles through my campaign. 25 motorcycles cash. Every motorcycle came with an helmet. They don't even give you the motorcycle.
But not for the passengers. Not for the passengers.
Give me a chance, Uncle Sam. You're talking. I didn't interrupt you. No, you gotta give me a chance.
I can't get you chance.
Give me a chance, Uncle Sam. But let me finish my point. You're not the one to talk on this show. Every motorcycle I bought had a helmet, so the rider already has one helmet. The only person they got to be concerned about buying a helmet for is the next person who ride behind them. If you look on that picture you just put up, you didn't see 5 persons sitting down on one motorcycle in Lomé. It is 1 rider and 1 passenger. Look around. Tell me which motorcycle you saw 5 persons sitting down on in this picture. It is 1 rider and 1 passenger for the most part. So every rider supposed to be wearing a helmet, and the next passenger that is behind that rider is for the safety of both the passenger and the motorcycle riders. Look, Uncle Sam, the Liberian government is only trying to protect the lives of our citizens, which is their primary responsibility as government. You know how many go to the hospital in JFK and get the statistic of motor vehicle accident and tell us which of that motor vehicle accident is related to motorcycle accident. The motorcycle has the highest rate of accident on any moving object in the country. Do you want these people to continue to kill themselves? Now, wearing a helmet does not stop you from falling. Let me finish my point. Wearing a helmet does not stop. Don't let anybody tell you that because everybody's wearing a helmet, it's stopping them from falling. But it reduces fatality. That's the argument people are making here. It's for public safety. And motorcycle, you look at them, they are the most vulnerable equipment on the road. Car hit them, they suffer. They hit car, they suffer. So all the police and the government saying is, listen, we really want our people, because we are challenged now, we're providing transportation all over the country. What we want our people to do is to ride, but ride safe. If that is a bad signal the police is saying or the government is saying, then I don't want to be a part of anything that is better, because I think this is the right thing. And my point is, it has been long overdue, long way coming. These motorcyclists had 6 years to get whatever they wanted to get, because the former president, was very lenient with them. He said, look, we understand the challenges. We understand that there are, financial difficulties, so the motorcyclists can ride around. But none of them now, everybody just thought that was a free ride to heaven. So the road on former presidents, we are lenient and his goodwill, and say, you know what, we'll carry the same thing on into President Bouakai administration. But, every government has a precedent. Unfortunately for them, this government is saying, listen, we respect the rule of laws, and we're going to implement that. Your vehicles must be insured before they plow the street. Atlanta, you say now in Samuel Jackson, nobody can ride back there without a helmet. If they do it, they're doing it at risk. If the police catch them, not only that they're going to pay ticket, they are going to impound their bike to a certain extent until they get helmet. Why should we be allowing our people in Liberia to risk their lives? I mean, so it is our duty as people who know better to begin to work with the rest of the folks to say, listen, this thing is for your own good. It's in the promotion of the health and safety of our people. So we beg you, and not bad thing the government trying to do. And finally, listen, Liberia is getting somewhere. But to get there, we all have to be patient. Nothing good comes easy. If we do not abide by rule of laws, it's going to be difficult for us. I mean, the transport minister has his own thing. I don't know what, and the last time you were on this platform, I asked him, what was his transportation plan? He didn't tell me any specific transportation plan. And when the IG were here, I also asked him, you know, what's going to happen to people who are dependent wholly on motorcycles to move. Then the IG said they are working with the Ministry of Transport to be able to arrange to see how they can bring additional public transportation to help facilitate the movement of people. So I think this is 100% a good plan, and Liberia should continue to do this, not witch hunting anyone, but making sure the rule of laws are followed in our country. Our country is a country of laws, not of men. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kennedy. I want to welcome Isaac Doe, who's going to tell us his thoughts about what's happened today in the country. So if you're just joining us, you're watching your favorite talk show, Spoon. We also have the stars in effect. You can give us a star if you like what Mr. Kennedy is saying. You can give us a star or many stars if you like what Mr. Jackson is saying. You can also hit the star button if you like what I'm saying or what Isaac Doe is saying. This is a way that we are supporting the station, or you are supporting the station. So thank you so much. Isaac, your views.
Yeah, hi. It's good to be back on after 2 days of absence. Just before we go into it, since my first time coming on the show since Sunday, let me quickly extend on here. Happy birthday to my son who celebrated his birthday on Monday. Just this is my first time coming, and also thanks to the president for paying my mom a visit. But let's go on the issue. You know,
say that again. Actually, you said the president paid you a visit, the former president or the current president?
The former president, President Weah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So, I'm in Liberia. I went to town today. A road where you usually take 10 to 15 minutes, it went up to 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, because of something that happened. And you guys were discussing, I was following. I know whenever we say what's right, our friends from the other side try to look at it from the other side. I don't want to believe anyone who say wearing a helmet, getting shoe is a bad thing. I don't want to believe so. The things that will be criticized by me will be, for instance, the manner in which it is implemented. I think building a road, it's a good thing to build roads all around the place. But you cannot stop people from traveling because you're building a road. That's why you find an alternative path for people to be traveling. Why are you building the other roads? That's the same with the motorbike issue. But overall, this is the government they voted for. It is the parties of the government for what happened to happen. I can tell you for a fact the country was chaotic today. It was a total mess. That I can tell you. Is it a good thing? The idea, yes, it isn't a good thing. The way and manner in which it was implemented. What were the first things done before the second thing, before the third thing? That's what we want to question. You had people paying $300 for transportation to a $100 place. Is that what you want? You have people walking distances that they've never walked. Is that what you want? That's fine. You had motorbike people and police fighting, they carrying things. Everything was a mess. Is that what you want? That's fine. I'll repeat for the third time. The idea is a good idea. I'm not saying it is bad. It is okay. But the manner in which it is implemented. If you were to go to Rwanda, for instance, the cleanest city, Kigali, in Africa, I would say, they have the same thing. Well, how did it do it? I'm going to put something in the chat room so you see it. It was a step by step by step by step process. They didn't just wake up one morning and say, everybody must wear helmet. And then you start having students who were on their way to school to take their WAEC fees, their WAEC rather, not having means to go there. Some of them started walking at a certain time. Little rain wanted to come. They are running up the place. No car stopping. You don't see taxi on the road. You got the Ministry of Transport people doing all of it. They are all good things. But what were the processes put in place? Just the same way I heard the other men saying, the Morville City Mayor will break all of the midship of the road. Good idea. But did you actually first come up with the first thing that will say, okay, you know what, people, this is where we have for you to go and sell. So we take you from the road. If you were to take everybody off the place, where you expect them to go? I'm not going to say much about it. But if this is the government's way of solving problems, kudos to you. Continue to do them. Have people pay $300 for a $100 place. Have motorbike and people all fighting here and there. Get students walking to go and take their test. Now, first look at the issue of transportation. Government, what have you done? Did you bring in some buses? I mean, you know, it's crazy. It was a mess today. I'm here. I went to town. I got in gracious ride. I took more than I don't know how many hours. I was passing, looking at things. It was like some kind of a warring country with no government, no head, no tail. It was crazy. I can assure you, it was crazy. It was not a good day today at all. Yeah.
So, you know, my thoughts about this is it's interesting, Isaac, though, Mr. Doe, that you are now worried about students going to take their exam and the WIAT fee when your government, the CDC government, failed to pay for the WIAT fee, and it took the Joe Walker government to come in to pay the fees. So, I mean, I don't understand that analogy. I don't understand. On the one hand, the government that you supported didn't pay the fees, but you are worried about the WIAT fee.
Which fee?
They didn't pay WIAT fee. WIAT fee. WAESS.
No, it's not correct. It's not. It's wrong. It's wrong information. It's wrong.
Okay.
The government does not
But
hold
you
us.
do your research.
Yes.
So they pay the fee.
Yeah, the government does not hold a cent for WIAT fee payment. Now, it is two fees the country pay. The administrative fee paid to WIAT headquarters as your contribution to the maintenance of WIAT headquarters in wherever it is, I think Nigeria, plus the fees you pay on behalf of the students to sit the test.
Did you guys pay them? The question is, you're paying both of them.
Yes, it's no, not both of them. Not both of them.
Okay, that's enough. That's all I need to hear, because so you are telling me that you didn't pay both of them. You paid one of them.
No, it's not George Weah. When Mr. Boyka was vice president in Liberia, he didn't pay. The fees that we're talking about, you talking about, came from the 80s. Now, should we have paid it? Why not? But it came from the 80s. So I don't want you to say you didn't pay.
You have paid it. Why not? Why not?
That's what I'm saying. So,
you pay money spending 42 days out of the country.
And then vice president was responsible.
Yeah, why not? It's the same reason why Mr. Boyka can pay now. Now, this is it. So,
your logic is not making sense to me. Your analogy is not making sense to me. On the one hand, for somebody who's so concerned about our Liberian students shining and paying and passing the exam, the government should have paid the fees, okay?
And the government has paid the fee. I'm not actually interested in making logic to you. I'm interested in talking what is actually true. It is not about what I
said. You said they didn't pay the fee, but then when I asked you,
I am saying to you, I'm trying to explain to you the way.
I'm on the floor, Mr. Doe. I'm on the floor, okay? When you told me, say, oh, the government paid 2 fees. You did a brilliant job in explaining the fees to the Liberian people. Then I said, okay, which fees did they pay? Did they pay both fees that is required for the children to take the exam?
No, if both fees not required to pay, no. That's what I'm trying to provide the information. And again,
let me educate the Liberian people. Let me continue to educate the Liberian people. If you're a motorbiker out there, we want to just tell you to please abide.
So let me end.
Interrupting me at your time, and I waited patiently for you to speak. So please allow me to speak.
Yeah, no, but we don't want the issue of that campaign propaganda and lie. We don't want it. We want real now. Not you per se.
Maybe you in the campaign more like you have never left. But what I'm saying about maybe you in the campaign. This is my turn. This is my turn. I waited patiently.
President, we are initiated. President, we are initiated.
Okay. When he comes down, he will come back.
Thank you for putting that man.
After Jose gets Samuel, thank you for dealing with him.
Thank you for dealing with him.
Yes. So, moving right along, guys.
A terrible relationship with the truth.
If we're going to discuss the issues here, I'm not in a campaign mode. The mode I'm in is what is interesting for the Liberian people what's going to work.
Very good.
And we're going to serve the information to the Liberian people as is. It's not a true or false information here. So I was just kind of concerned that, yeah, I have a government who said I'm interested in my students succeeding and passing the exam, but yet and still my government neglected to pay the correct fees for these children to pass the exam. And then you telling me that's not what happened. I don't know what is it supposed to mean. But anyway, I want you to know, if you're a motorbiker out there, yes, and if you're a Liberian out there in Liberia, it's going to be some struggles. This is how I feel about it. Could their government have done well? Could they have done all the planning in the world, like Mr. Jackson said? Certainly they could have done that. But it is what it is right now, and we are where we are right now. And the primary reason why we are here, because we want a better Liberia, is because of safety concerns. That's why we are here. They're asking out, and before I go further, Glendy, I want to welcome you. Ava Topa, I also want to welcome you. You guys just kind of walk into,
yes,
this kind of conversation. But okay, they want you to have your license plate on your bike. They want you to have a registration. Okay, your bike should be registered. They want you to at least to have just 2 riders. We know in the country, there's people can move a whole apartment on the bike. Okay, I've seen it before, and I'm sure Nelson is putting together pictures of the things that we've seen people carry on the bike. They want you to have 2 helmets. Okay, one for you, one for the passenger. And Mr. Kennedy just told us when you buy a bike, it comes with a helmet, and so the driver will be responsible for the extra helmet. They want you to have a reflective jacket on you, so you should be seen. All right, especially at night when it's dark, you should be seen, because how many times was I was in Liberia so many times when I didn't even see bikers coming around. It could have been fatal, because especially if you don't see them. I could have died in an accident, or you could have died. So this is for your own protection. They want you to have a sneaker or shoes on when you're driving. It's so important for you not to wear shoes, slippers, because that slippers, especially if you're a new driver, can slip off your foot, and it can cause you to either hit the speed on the pedal, and so you could accelerate or not accelerate at a crucial time. They want you to also have an operator license, a different type of license that is required from driving a vehicle. So, and at least have 1 passenger, as Mr. Kennedy have made the brilliant point. So that's what they want you to have. So please make sure that you have all of those things in place. I'm going to give Glendy an opportunity to speak about this issue, and also Ava to speak about it, since they just joined us and we all had an opportunity to speak.
So hello, everybody. It's good to be here. Thank you, Doc. And to everybody, Fatima can say to all of the viewers of the world watching, and all of the panelists, hello to everybody. I think so I saw a lot of writings, people writing negative things about this, people condemning this. I think it's disingenuous. This is healthy process. It's a healthy process. Here in America, people don't ride bikes without helmets. They don't do that. So I don't understand. I mean, I haven't really followed it, but just reading the different things, what people have to say, I think this is something that should be welcome. Now, what the process is, what is going to cost, and all of those things, of course, it needs to be looked into. But asking people to have on a reflector jacket at night in a place where there's darkness, and asking them to wear helmets for their own safety, I think it's commendable. So I will not be one that's going to be disagreeing with the fact that these health measures have been put in, safety, not even health, it's safety measures that have now been put in place. I think this is something that's good. One of the postings somebody said in other countries, other African countries, no one rides a bike without a helmet. So I think it's something that Liberia needs. It's going to take time. Of course, we're Liberians. We'll make fun out of it. And then later on, a few months from now, we will praise the fact that this has started. But I think we should commend the effort, because I think it may be costly. People may not be able to afford it right away. But I think the overall thing is that it promotes safe driving. And I think it's going to save a lot of lives. If we follow, if they follow the process.
Come back, my man. Too many people. Listen to me. Too many people.
Can you go
please mute yourself.
Sam Jackson, mute yourself. Oh,
you calling your godson?
crap! Everything that man doing.
He begging. Come back.
Poor Isaac.
Yes. Mr. Tukwa, please go ahead.
Yes. Look. Again, there's no way you can downplay the importance of safety measures when it comes to the bike. I mean, we all have said it. When people politicize it, that's the season we're in, where people are trying to prove that we are polarized, that we are so divided, that we are so separate. So anything that they can use to instigate some kind of negativity or crowd influence, they will deploy it. So we understand all of that. Notwithstanding the negative part, sometimes when you try to assimilate something and make it a new thing, you have to sensitize people. You got to create greater awareness. You got to facilitate ease of transition. Now, I believe the police probably been talking to these motorcyclists and maybe to the general public since they came to power about this new policy. I don't know the exact time frame. I don't know what publication has been out there because I'm not on the radio in Liberia listening to what the police saying, what they're not saying, and how the discussions went. But in terms of the safety aspect of this thing is very necessary. Yes, if somebody is still driving crazy, the wearing helmet, and they hit against something, most likely they die anyway. But to the extent that the minor accidents and stuff, their head can be, because that's the most sensitive part, can be protected, I think it gives them a better chance of surviving even, sometimes dangerous accidents. I've been a victim of serious accidents before. I know what recovery is like and how difficult it can be. And then especially in a place like Liberia, where if my mom had not been really insistent, I would have one hand today. Because when we had an accident coming from Cottontown, I had my wrist broken, my hand broken in multiple places. And the doctor, Dizzy Bento, as he was known, he wanted to cut off my hand to make it simple because he won't go through the problem of setting my hand different places, restoring my skin and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know what that system is right now from an orthopedic perspective, right? But these guys consistently at JFK, and the one or two times I went in emergency situation, the motorcyclists are always there. Sometimes their bodies are there. Sometimes people can't even identify them. So it is a societal problem that we need to fix. And if the safety aspect is the first step that we can move in to try to make this situation get better, try to educate these people on traffic. Most of them don't even know traffic rules. They don't even know where to turn from. They don't know they can't just drive on the left side of people and overtake from the other lane. So because of all those things, I think this is a first step. I think the police should hold this and move with it and try to sensitize more people. The perspective that hell will come and break loose today, it didn't happen. I don't believe.
It did break loose.
Uncle, plique us chance.
It did break loose today.
There were challenges. Look, any new thing you implement, there will be challenges anywhere.
You didn't have to walk 3 hours to go to so when I have for you, you didn't have to walk 3 hours.
Why are you interrupting his time now?
I simply wait more. I pick you go to fight the guy.
Sorry, Mama. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
I called the man to say hello earlier. The man just started blasting at me. So the man just hit or something. So I hope you're easily tonight so tomorrow you can feel a better man. But to be honest with you,
eat what?
Food, wherever you can eat to be all right.
So before we go to fight, are you finished? I didn't want.
No, I was just gonna say there will be challenges. People will be negative about it because our whole country is just politicized now. Every little thing, if Joseph Boyga wear fireman hat, they will politicize it. Anything he does, they'll politicize it. The same way when we are our president, everything he did, most people politicize it instead of going to the substantive criticism. That's the problem I have with a lot of the critics. Focus on the real issue and criticize it, man. Otherwise, you just like an empty drum. So hopefully we can really come to that point in the next month or so where it's a process, people respect it, people obey it, and it's making an impact and difference in the lives of our people.
Definitely. Thank you. Before I go to Fadiga, I want to say that on this show we try to be factual to the best that we can. I have Googled several newspapers in Liberia, and I'm reading from All Africa News right now that specifically stated that for Liberian students who were in danger of missing their regionally administered West African exam, their fees were paid by the newly elected President Boakai. On Wednesday, he announced this is May 2nd, 2024, because the previous government, President George Weah government, were indebted to the West African Examination Agency. Okay, so this is not something that I just made up because I wanted for Isaac Dole not to be here. He is choosing not to be here, and the show must go on. So that's what I have to say about that. Yes, they go and Google, go and read. Okay, they were indebted to the West African Examination Agency. They were indebted, and so President Weah had to pay the fees to allow the students to take the exam. Fadiga, please go ahead.
Well, Doc, you remember I said that yesterday. Even Uncle Sam tried to something. The president even mentioned that in his speech. They were indebted to the tune of $6 million unpaid fees. There were also international student local scholarship fee and other things. These are arrears. That is, those guys lied to us. They took the parents' PTA fee. They ate it. It was just a scam all along. It has always been a scam. Oh Lord, somebody calling me. It has always been a scam. They came with this big scam to just film money. The government spent up to $3.5 million has been appropriated in the 2020 full budget just to continue paying that fee that somehow they came out with. Now we have to continue the process because it would cause a lot of problems. Well, let's get back to motorcycle. Dag, you were already right on that one. When it comes to motorcycle safety, there are a lot of things. The helmet, I mean, this is a good start. But we need to look at some of the problems that I have seen just being on the ground yet. Another problem with the motorcycle, the safety is addiction. A lot of those guys are usually under the influence of substance abuse. A lot of the guys do not even understand the rules of the road, the driving sign. Like the advice said, to my surprise, I'll see people overtake on the left-hand side where they have the two yellow line indicating that those are no pass zone are dotted. So we need to have random training, mandatory training. I think these guys need to get back in the class. They need to offer some safety training courses for those guys even before they get back on the road, because a lot of the guys do not know what they are doing. They do not understand defensive driving. We need to recognize that motorcycle is an integral part of our transportation system. So we have to regulate them to the fullest, whether it's through legislation or through just the Ministry of Transport. But we need to educate. Another thing again, we need to randomly inspect those vehicles, those motorcycles. That's another thing that is not done. People shouldn't just get it and put a motorcycle on it. There should be a place that at least once every month they should take it into some government facility or private place to check it to make sure the brakes are working, all the bolts, nuts and bolts are in order, so that something. And then training, more public safety education needs to be done. We need to introduce more motorcycle. I'm hearing feedback noise from somewhere. I don't know who, but I see two.
Okay, maybe it's my
So we need more education. I know it's too much to do all at once, but these things need to be done like yesterday before the guys even get back on the road. As this all would be for nothing, except we're just going to put a ban on it. But in the long run, I think we need to invest in more public transportation, find more jobs, better alternative. We cannot keep Well, the country ain't already fine. Then we just put a bunch of old car, old motorcycle, everywhere just noisy. So I mean, we need a small. We have a small population. If the government manage our resources wisely, I think we can find a healthy alternative to this motorcycle. Or start by in a long term, and not now. Start by banning the importation of certain parts, certain things to reduce it over, let's say, 3 to 5 years, to reduce the number of bikes that we have in the country. And start putting certain measure in place that certain vehicle, I know some of those things are already in place, but enforce it that taxes should be of certain standard, certain year, and get some of these old things from on the street. People driving in the night, even car, no tail light, no license plate, no turn signal, nothing.
Yeah.
A truck breaks down on the highway, nothing there. People come and plow into it, and people die. These are preventable deaths. So, I think that more needs to be done.
But God, your points are well taken, and I like the part that you added about addiction. So I hope, the transport minister is here. So I think he needs to come back to sort of address some of these issues that we're raising tonight, and in some of the feedback that we're giving the government. I know we want everything to be done in one day, but at least in my opinion, that's a start. You talk about addiction, that's an important piece. I think the police can pick that up because, of course, when you are high, it alters your ability to be able to move in traffic.
Exactly.
Yes, and then you talk about the condition of the bikes that they are driving. So we should have more inspections, safety education, those things that you talk about. So like I think I would agree with Uncle Sam. If we start to begin to have like a longitude plan, a long-term plan, okay, between 1 to 6 months, we're going to do these road safety exercises, going to educate the public. We're going to have jingles on the air, and all of these different things are going to improve our road sign. Those are what we call the kind of plan that you're talking about, the kind of plan that we expect. But we have to start from somewhere. So I just want to say, so keep in mind for the rest of the panelists, this issue of addiction we have to address as well, because it is also a major reason for the accidents that we see in our country. Mr. Jackson, I want to go to you before I come back to Mr. Kennedy and then Glendy and then Isaac.
So every time somebody disagrees with the peanut gallery of the Unity Party, we call unpatriotic. The comments that we don't like Liberia, we want Joe Boyka to fail. I mean, this sort of blabber jabber kind of democracy. I mean, it's not going to help you with the propaganda, because you told a lot of bald-faced lies during the election, and the hens are coming home to roost. The chicken coming home to roost. Look. No one is against public safety. No patriotic Liberian is against public safety. But what I said, and what a transport economist would say, and anybody who knows about the origin of public policy, and especially the ones that come to regulation, and especially in an industry where 350,000 unregulated people have been since the post-war, and because of the lack of economic development of the 12 years of the Unity Party, where they had this jobless growth, where they did not create jobs for people in manufacturing, but they went and dished out, they banjo our resources to ArcelorMittal, they gave us our oil blocks, they did all these things that they did not create manufacturing. They did not bring enough electricity to create an energy independence so we can do what they call import substitution. These are the same people who are in power today. And they don't give a rat, what about poor people. I hear my very good friend Asif Atuba say it was a good day for Liberia. It was a good day for you because you said now in Silver Spring, Maryland, where you are, you didn't have to walk 3 hours to go to take your wire examination today. It was a good day for Seth Glendy and Dr. Richardson then, because you sit down your Albert Tower enjoying yourselves. You didn't have to be like Dr. Bropler, who was 2.5 hours in a 10-minute trip, or like Paul Kennedy. But Paul Kennedy would disingenuously come in here because he looked like probably seeking favor from the Unity Party government and say that it was a good day for Liberia. It can't be a good day for Liberia when the people are making fun out of the policy. They're poking buckets on their head. This is a caricature against the government of Liberia.
I said, Paul, I will not take it to the year when the man calling you, you say you're looking for a job with the government. I will not take it.
Yeah, you are. He's looking for a job with the government. And then he can say, I'm looking for consultancy too. And nobody can say,
oh, so you're projecting those feelings that you have.
I'm not projecting. I'm not projecting.
But since when is it bad to look for a job with your government to want to work?
It's bad because the UP people say it's bad.
You can't accept that same.
Thank you so much.
I keep telling you,
but let me finish now. I'm not finished yet.
Okay, sorry.
Are you have a finished business today? Go ahead.
Can you make your statement with all calling people names?
No, I will call your names.
Really?
I will call your names.
Okay, be ready for your name to be called.
They are score losers.
And you say, I was Samuel Doe and Samuel Doe, the Tajin people. And I you can say,
and you posted a picture.
I accept those. I was with those people there. I was with those people there. So accept the fact that you are with a government that does not understand something called policy incoherence or policy dissonance.
Which one they call you away that understood it? Which
policy incoherence means when you want to put public policy in, you have to marry it. Let me say, you have to marry it to the unexpected so as not to have the mess that obtained in Liberia today. It was a messy, messy, messy day for ordinary Liberians.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jackson.
It's a mess because you guys chose politics over policy.
We're going to go on to Mr. Kennedy, but let me just correct something that Mr. Jackson said. Mr. Jackson, I just mentioned to you that there are several newspapers that reported how the past. Let me finish, please.
I'm not saying that to you.
This was. I'm just telling you. Let me finish because I know you. I see your facial expression. Like
you ready? You ready?
Yes, you're getting ready. Okay. So that was what my position is on this here. You cannot tell me that you are concerned about students being late to take wire fees. To take the West African exam. You cannot tell me that the students had to walk, that will have disturbed their concentration level and all of that stuff. But yet at the same time, you come from a government and you never promoted or advocated for the government paying the wire fees for the children to take. And that was my argument here, okay? So when you bring this argument up, like Dr. Richardson was not impacted by the traffic today, I find that interesting, Mr. Jackson. I find it very interesting.
My government is not in power, Dr. Richardson. My government is not in power. It's your government that is in power. So you should be talking about your government.
Well, I'm not talking about any government. I'm talking about
talking about my government. My government is in the rearview mirror. My government is in the rearview mirror.
This is the difference between you and myself. You talk for
the
people. I'm not. You are here to talk to the Liberian people. Go ahead, Mr. Kennedy.
So, thank you, Dr. Richardson. And you know, my comrade, I don't know whether he's my comrade or my senior brother.
He said that people not listening to me, I'm an old economist. You might be attacking me the other day, you forget? You forget?
My senior brother, Samuel Jackson can talk sometimes, and you know, he put his passion. I like the guy. He puts his passion into everything he talks about. But let's come back to the issue of nationalism. Let's, for once in our life, put country over favor and put country over party. Because I tell anybody, I was closer to CDC than this government. So if I was looking for a job from any government, it would be CDC government. But I'm in the position I am in because of my competency and qualification. I don't beg for job. I you know, people see the need to give me a job and they will offer me the job, whether they know me or not. But to talk more to the issue, look, everything starts that is not properly planned, starts with some, you know, disarray. Was the process perfect? Absolutely not. But where the motorcyclist taken unaware? No. I mean, a few weeks ago, the motorcyclist was standing in one park. I don't know where Conor Coleman carried them. They were screaming. The Conor asked them, so we are not going to do the no-go zone. But do you all agree that by the 15th of May, we should, all have helmet? They all said, yeah. The video said the yellow part and play. The corner asked them, do you all agree that by the 15th of May, before you come downtown to Monrovia, you will have on reflector jacket and helmet? They all said, yeah. I mean, this thing is not abrupt. Now, is it perfectly done? Absolutely not. Isaac Jackson, I live in Washington, D.C., particularly in the Silver Spring area. It's one of the most structured places on earth. So I know structure when I see it. There are so many things this government could have done to avoid people, stranded and even constrained in traffic today. So I didn't come here to praise them. What I'm praising is that they actually roll out the ability for motorcyclists to begin to adhere to safety measures. I'm clapping for them on that. Because you know what? I am a public health professional, and public health and safety is a big concern to me, right? And I'm saying this again, this thing is long overdue that motorcyclists will even be riding around. The only two countries I've driven in and see motorcyclists running around without helmet are Liberia and Nigeria. Most of the time when I go to Lagos, I'm like, all the bad things we are learning in Liberia coming out of this Lagos here. You see people in Lagos riding motorcycles like they're cutting their hair up crazy. But of course, that's a very rich country. Nigeria is a very rich country. I will not compare it to our little poor country. But what I don't want us to adapt are those bad things that are happening in Nigeria. What I want the Liberian people to emulate are good examples so that they continue to protect our people. Somebody say, oh, only the elite will enjoy. That's not true. In fact, the motorcycle is more expensive than the taxi. Call anybody in Liberia and ask them. You pay more. So people who are riding motorcycles are actually not poor. If people who are riding motorcycles can afford, if they were really poor, they will be riding taxi, which is cheaper than the motorcycle that is more expensive. Now, can you make the argument that, well, taxis are not accessible in every community? I will agree with you to say yes. The taxis are not, accessible in every community, and such community will rely on motorcycles to bring them to town. But does that mean that the motorcycles should not abide by the safety rules and policy? Let me disagree with you, Sam Johnson, and I would disagree with anyone. What we are saying is everything starts somewhere. The government could have had a more better approach into rolling out this whole helmet thing. But of course, most of the time, people who are heading these things, the other day the Minister of Transport was sitting here asking for a plan. He didn't give me one. The police are only the enforcers of laws. The police don't make laws. So when I hear people saying, oh, the laws and this and that, the police are making sure that laws that are written are not broken by any group of people. So I think the same goes to the motorcyclists. They are not above the law. They are within the laws of the province of this republic. And what Colonel Coleman is telling them is, listen, we all agree to follow one principle, and that principle is we will ride safely and we'll make sure we'll get to our destination safe to avoid our people from getting wounded and even dying in the process. So thank you. Sam Jazzy, I got nothing personal with you. You might owe me. I'm learning from you every day.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. And that's the beauty of this show. We come here, we have our own thoughts about issues, and we move on. If you want to personalize the issue, I'm sorry, that maybe tomorrow would be a better day for you. So I'd like to go over to Glendy to say her views. Glendy, in your conversation about the measures that took in effect today, can you also give some feedback to the transport minister if you were to give him some feedback as to how he might improve things in the coming days? Okay, because majority of us here are stating that there are challenges. There were challenges today. There were traffic jam. Some people didn't abide by the law. And these are things that we expected, because of this new situation in the country. Anytime you change something, there's challenges, there's pros and cons about it. So if you had to give the transport minister feedback as to how could we improve this situation, Hassan talked about Father God talk about addiction, addressing the addiction issue. Okay, what would you say to him?
I mean, I think one of the things with our country is we just have to be, and this is the mistake we make all the time. We don't look at the positives and negatives. We don't look at pros and cons. We don't look at how it should be done. We don't compare it to how other people did it, that it was successful. We don't talk about it a lot. We don't prepare the people for it. And I think this was something that they wanted to do. And so we can admit to say that, yes, it was done in a rush and the people were not receptive. So I think one of the things they need to look at now is how they can backtrack, look back at what happened. How did we end up here today? How can we correct it? Can you correct it by pulling those people together and talking to them, training them, teaching them, showing them the benefits of wearing those things? What can we do to correct the mistake? Clearly, the community was not ready for it. What were those things that you put in place? If you're going to do this in a major city, Monrovia, you should have looked at all of those things. What was the preparation like for coming up to this date? So those things we have to look at, but we have to be sincere to Liberia, extremely sincere. And I see Uncle Sam clapping, and he has to be sincere. Uncle Sam should be somebody that we're looking up to for wisdom. Uncle Sam has been in every government since I was born. So we have to be sure to look. Let me finish now, Papa. He clapping for me. Let me finish. Yes. So we have to be able to look at him. When wrong is wrong, you say it. You can't be partisan politics, even to the detriment of people's safety. You can't do that. We gotta be factual. Their rollout was wrong, but it's what they've done. Is it a negative thing? Why focus only on the rollout? Why not focus on the impact that it's going to create for Liberia later on? We understand that the rollout was not perfect. We get that. It didn't roll out perfectly. So we have a lot of mishaps today. But when you look at it, what does it promote? How will it help people from dying? Those are the things we need to look at, and we need to be safe. So, Dr. Richardson, I would wish that they would go back. People always say go back and do a survey. If they want to do one, they can just take up 5 or 6 of those people and ask them, what was the impact on you today? How did it affect you today? What are some of the things that stopped today? And see how they can correct those things. Because if you want to move it now to another county or city, then you have to be prepared so that it works. But I think on the overall, it's a positive thing to offer us after so many years to get here. But I also think they need to go back and check and see what were some of those things that they missed in the process that had us ending up here today.
President, mute.
Sorry, I'm trying to be like you, Isaac. Took my. So at 6:25, we're gonna go to the phone lines because I'm interested in hearing the experience of Liberians as well, and then go to our closing. But I want to just take this time, the next couple of minutes, to just ask anyone who has some final thoughts about, this whole measures that were put in place. It's important that we have a discussion about this because a lot of people are listening to us. We want a better Liberia. I would love to go on to other topics today, but I think this is important. So
let me share some other comments to me about this.
Okay, great. Thank you, Isaac.
The person says, I try to be positive and see the glass half full. For me, the noise level in Monrovia decreased by double-digit decibels. No change comes quickly and without resistance. We can tweak those areas to make it seamless and less stressful. So for clarity, I asked, noise as in motorcycle noise? She said, yes, it was quiet around Monrovia. The place is unbelievable noisy. I said, something is different. And then I realized it was the noise. Now it's about continuing implementation and maintenance. It is challenging, yet doable and achievable. I wasn't there. That's somebody else's opinion.
I said the same thing about noise.
Oh, wow.
Yes, but sometimes you don't realize it, but that hum, that noise is consistently in the air. And especially for me who used to be around in 19th Street and like from 15th Street all the way to Congo Town in our zone, you can really hear it. I mean, if this has reduced, you know, maybe it will come back up after the bikers realize that, look, we got to wear our helmet. If we want to make our money on this corridor, they will do the right thing. But, you know, it's challenging to start anything new. So I applaud them, Sam. I didn't say this is the best day in Liberia ever, or for me, I wasn't there. Yes, it was miserable for some people, but the value we have achieved from starting this, let's just build on it and make sure that more people can come on board, that it can be a standard that we can set, and then less lives will be lost. People will respect traffic a little bit more, and there will be more control. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Can I say something, Doc? Something I observed today.
Okay. Can you go and then Mr. Jackson will come in then, please?
You bring him Mr. Jackson again. I thought you finished talking plenty.
Yeah,
Dr. Francine, please bring out the door back, man. I beg you.
No,
but he'll come back another day.
Yeah, exactly. I don't stop people from coming to the show. I want to hear as many voices as we can, because we are a reflection of the Liberian people. So I didn't stop him from coming. He himself chose to not come.
He made a decision, but I mean, he'll come back another day.
Go and be babysit. They go and babysit. His wife told him to go in time out, so he's gonna be there for some time, at least for today. But there were a bunch of motorcyclists congregating at Vamama and in certain spots. I couldn't understand why. I don't know whether there was scuffle between they and the police, but I couldn't understand why that was happening. But true to what Alva is saying, we need to try something. Let us give it a chance. Everybody, we are too negative. You know, Uncle Sammy saying it will not work. If it worked, I remember back during the Salib administration with armed robbery and crimes with motorcyclists on the ride. They say, oh no, we're banning for certain times for certain time. Everybody, how the guys will eat. And when we implemented that, it did work. Crime reduced. You know, so we need to try something. It was not perfect today. I feel sorry for those people that had to walk, but we will adjust as the police enforce, and then to the police IG. Some of those police officers too can be very, very unscrupulous. They will turn the other way, and you know how that is with that handout. They need to make sure that they enforce that. It's very important that we enforce it. Liberian people can be tough, but after 1 or 2 days, when they see that the government is not backing down, they are going to fall in line. But politicians also need to stay away. I saw a post by Yeke. Well, I don't know whatever Dag or who that put it post there in there, where he's saying that they should get in that. There will never be enough time. You can give people 1 year, 6 years, 7 years. They will never have enough time to do exactly what the government wants. Government just need to enforce the rule of law and make sure that they are serious about it and stop playing politics. In a few months from now, we'll get in line. It's a new dawn.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Jackson, please.
Okay, so let me make another dire prediction, okay? By the end of this week, I want you to listen to very carefully. By the end of this week, the visibility of the police will decrease. Listen to me very carefully. The persistence of the police would have been worn out. And number 3, we might just be back to status quo ante, which is sad. And the reason that is going to listen to me, please.
Yeah, listen to him. Just listen to him.
The reason why it's just like everything you guys try to do, asset recovery, putting people, you know, hijacking people's cars in the street. When I warn you guys about it, you seen the repercussions. Look, no patriotic Liberian wants my Mary and my water to be riding motorcycles with no helmet. We all want that. But in the post-war Liberia that the Unity Party government inherited in 2006, and for 12 years did not put in structures. And Paul Kennedy, I don't know if you read the conflict mapping report. Paul, are you there? You listening? You're not listening. Paul, did you read the conflict mapping report by Archibald and Mulbach, 2008, about the things that needed to be done? The what? Disarmament, demobilization.
I named those very things here yesterday.
Okay, let me finish. I'm talking as a professional.
Yes, sir.
I want you to listen to this. The rehabilitation and the reintegration, those things were not done properly. And as a VI, they were not done properly. So those things.
But that the people stole all the money for the team. Forget about being done properly. They stole
and what happened? The mob justice that you see where people burn police stations, where people kill thieves in the marketplace, those are all the dysfunction that Dr. Francine Chinua, which is a social health and a psychologist, will understand that anything we need to do in Liberia has to be done holistically. The public health issue, the social welfare issue, the economic issue, the dysfunctional issue, all of those issues there. You cannot try to fix Liberia, 350,000 bikers in 3 months. It would never happen. And I'm willing to make that prediction, as dire as it is. By the end of this week, there will be public pressure on the police to slow it down, because the economic impact, and I'm speaking as an economist now, the economic impact of slowing down the commercial city of Monrovia, and if you do that for 30 days, the economic impact will be dire. And the business people, the schools, and other institutions in the country, they will get involved. And then they will now sit around the table with the government of Liberia and do it the right way. The only way that it will work if it's done the right way, not the haphazard, emotional thing that we're doing. That's all I have to say. By the end of the week, it's finished.
Okay, thank you. I'll pray that the police will continue to be vigilant, that they will continue to have stamina to deal with the magnitude of the problems that they will face as a result of putting in these measures. I pray that Liberia will get better. I appreciate that someone mentioned the noise pollution in our country is sometimes just too noticeable that they can tell that something is different. There's also another health impact, noise pollution, that we have to address here. So I want to say that we just wish the police department lots of luck. I wish I was there to offer. In fact, I think I can do it some way. I'm going to probably volunteer for the water for the police who are out there. I'm going to look into sending some bottle of waters for you, because I think bottles of water for you. I think you're doing a great job. I hope that you continue to do the great work for Liberia. Again, we're going to go to the phone lines. So let's listen to what Liberians have to say. I want to thank you for joining us. If you liked what Mr. Kennedy had to say, please give him some stars today. If you like what Mr. Fadika had to say, give him some stars. If you like what Mr. Jackson had to say, give him some stars, or what Mr. Tupa or what Glendy had to say, or what Mr. Isaac Doe had to say when he was here, or what I have to say. Please support your radio station by giving stars. Thank you so much. We're gonna go to the phone lines if anybody don't have any. Oh, one more thing I have to say. I actually want to make some indirect connection between health, safety, and the security of our country and investors coming to the country. I think that the more that we have these health problems, people getting sick as the result of falling from the bike, or they have to go to JFK, our government has to spend money, redirect money that they could have done to something else, maybe education, to the health system. And once they do that, okay, they are taking money from developing another aspect in our country that will be attractive for people to come. The noise pollution in our country, the fact that if you go to Liberia, that there's a likelihood that you'll be in an accident because some motorbiker is not wearing the proper gear, maybe the reflector jacket, can drive people away from our country. So we don't want that. So I believe that there's some indirect correlation between what the measures that the IG is putting in effect today, and also the safety of our country and investors coming to our country. So I wanted to say that. Nelson, can we please go to the line, please? and let's listen to what Liberians have to say about what happened today or what we have said on the show. Thank you, Nelson.
Certainly. Let me put the WhatsApp line up. But the folks can call our regular local number. 0555-101075 is the local number. And I'm putting the WhatsApp up now. And then we can start to take calls. So we have our first call here. Hello, you're live?
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, Moses. Yes, I was calling from Happy Highway, my master.
Yeah, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah. You see, Dr. Francis, nothing good come easy. It depends on if a Samuel Jackson, the country go backward. Because of a way back mentality. We are doing things. To look at Sunday, we are doing things. Way back things. This is the first country ever in West Africa here. You go separately, you use that motorbike from your house to the gas station. If you don't wear your helmet, boost. If you wear short trousers, the police will pull you over. Then why Liberia? You will go backward. I very admire the police today. I'm so happy of that. Because if you feel like that the first country the motorbike military he knew what he was doing. He will pass between two trucks.
Thank
you. He knew what he was doing. When you do that, the life is not the only life on the back, but he knew what he was doing.
Thank you very much. Okay. That's all you got to take another person. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, good evening to all of you. Lofa, I'm calling you from the United Kingdom. Okay. I'm following the show very live. I just want to give 100% to the police. What Samuel Jackson is saying on the show, there is nothing. I think he's somebody that was born 1847. We cannot continue to be lawless. We need to uphold the rules of law in Liberia. Motorcyclists need to have helmets. They need to meet the requisite requirement for road traffic. That is insurance, their licenses. He cannot do that in America. He cannot do that in Australia. So I'm very discouraged with Samuel Jackson, and I want him to refrain from inciting the public against this government. It's a warning to him.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your contribution. Let's take this person. Hello. 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 Okay, so we take this one. Hello.
Hello.
You want to walk away from your radio, please? Just lower the volume of your radio.
Hello.
Yes, we are live now. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Too bad we lost that person. Let's see if we can go back to the WhatsApp. Again, we want this one. So we take this call here. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you come from?
My name is Lovette. I'm calling from Venus.
Okay, it's good to have you on the show. Let's hear you, man.
Yeah, I was just calling to let Sam Jackson know that he should be ashamed of himself to sit on that platform. After all the years he worked with previous government, they didn't do a thing. And coming on this show every day to get boast about education, knowing very well that the extreme poverty Liberia is going through today, he added to it, which led to many children not getting an education. So when he come on the show, he should say something good, positive things. Okay. I've been observing that every time he gets on the show, he will just come out with negative things instead of saying positive things for the country.
Okay.
You know, some of us are watching the show. We are not partisan. We are not partisan, but we want the best for Liberia. And for the old man who now lived 70 years of his life, enjoying the welfare of Liberian money, and has the audacity to sit on that show and be lecturing our people with education and food. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input. Let's take another call here. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from. Let's hear you. Go ahead, please.
Hi, my name is Famata Williams, calling from North Carolina.
Okay, you're live. Let's hear you.
Hey, thank you to the panelists for tonight. And Samuel Jackson, he just needs to be quiet sometimes, because I don't think he mean well for Liberia. Every time he's talking about he wants things to improve, but then he's just so negative. He just needs to go find some place and rest.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input. We'll go back to the local line and take this person. Hello, your name and where you call from? Yeah, please go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay.
I want to say good evening to the most eloquent female on the Spawn show, Madam Richardson. Good evening, ma'am. I love how eloquent you are, and I want to say good evening to the full breast color of Basel. I say, but the issue, you see, I think the United Party government want to they want to bring real health hazard into our country. Nothing. Then are you. So the house you and somebody using helmet that get epilepsy without passing fluid. After the person feeling using it. Maybe they carry the person with my battery. Then brush the come back. I got use it. Pastor made a more kind. He said made me.
No,
but people just want to increase serious health hazard.
No, but again, the example you're trying to give here doesn't match the situation, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So as much as there are so many concerns about the health situation around that, I think that example of
no, but look at it. Nothing. First of all, I didn't call my name. My name is James Gay. Different bastard men than me. Somebody who get let's say. When use that something there, I put on my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Epilepsy is not contagious. I don't know what a guy talking about.
They are putting a moon. I've been putting.
Thank
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We will take another person here. I think you're trying to. Okay. Hello. You're live. Your name and where you call from?
Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, okay. My name is Kilau Shobo. I'm calling from Des Moines, Iowa, USA.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, firstly, thanks to the police, and I really applaud them for the measure they have put in place. And let me just, skip that a bit. I was in Monrovia during the month of February, and I got a bad guy, a boy anyway, who told me that they are doing this service to themselves because the buyer has put money in their pocket and many of them have come by, to even look after their own education. This boy told me this thing, I was in tears. This is how far we have gone with, this whole buy something here. It has put the children out of school. They are no longer taking school. They look after is money and women. And that is bad for our society.
Thank you.
The measure is not a bad thing. It is a good measure because let's come first. My brother-in-law, Pastor Augusta Caesar Stubble, was killed by bikers who wanted to rob him. You think I'm satisfied where I am? I am not. And so with many other families in Liberia. So why can't we, Liberia, accept the change that will come that will, save lives?
Thank you.
Nothing, we should be looking with.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your input. Let's hold you there and take another call. Then we'll go to the local line. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the show, man. I'm Jim Harris, calling from Thailand.
Mr. Harris, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout to our national.
Hello? Oh, okay. So we take this person. Hello? Or better still, we'll come here and talk to this person. Hello? You're live. Your name and where you call from?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, please. You are live. Let's hear you.
My name is John B. Moba. I call from Nipple Street.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you. I want to say kulu to all of the panelists in studio and online. I want to say kulu to all of them. But Samuel Jackson, people Samuel Jackson and veteran Samuel Jackson, I never expected of him saying the kind of a statement that coming from his angle, because we are discussing preventive measures right here. We're not discussing because you hate the Bwakale government or what have you. We are not discussing that. But we are discussing preventive measures. How can a Liberian riding on a motorbike or pete, how can a lab be secure? How can they be safe? That's what we're discussing. Just in case of accident, how can that be safe? That's what we are discussing. We are not discussing any from the politics, but he now coming up because he hated a particular judge, Bwakale government because they gave him job. We are not discussing, but we are discussing betterment of Liberia. How can a Liberia be better?
Okay.
That's what we're discussing. We are not discussing Georgia government or Joseph Bwakale government. How can Liberia be discussed?
Thank you.
How can Liberia be better? That's what we're discussing.
Thank you very much. Let's hold you there
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hold you there and take this person. Hello, your name and where you call from?
Good night, my name is Josiah Sumo calling from the Commodore Peace Island, coming called 540.
Please go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Let me say to the panel on said that Richardson and the others. No, let me say our uncle, our grandpa, Uncle Sam, some of our young people who follow the show. But there was another thing, there was something where you're saying, sometimes a half or some other honor thing. The welcome by the police today is welcoming. The police did not say don't run on the route. Just follow the measure. The same thing with someone we agree to. Buy your safety, follow the rules and regulations. Watch your thing to go you round. You follow the rules and regulations. We want for Nigeria to be better. Like Ghana, I talk about it, but we ourselves not willing for the betterment of Liberia.
Thank you.
So they tell me, right? So motorcycle plan you see today with a document or other GS and things say whatever. Why they didn't arrest him? But because they follow the rules and regulations. That's what we are saying here. So please be telling us something so as the farm better safely.
Thank you. That's what
you never got from day 1 to day 2. All of y'all had to contribute to our backwardness because for what you saying on the show here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your input. Hello, you are live. Let's hear you, sir.
Okay, my name is Walla calling from Europe. Just first I want to say thank you to all of the panelists over there for this discussion tonight. And I think with the police or the government trying to implement the helmet stop or the preventive measures when it comes to motorcycling, I think that's welcoming. We should all embrace that idea. And when they're talking about sickness of contacting sicknesses with helmet and stuff like that, there are a lot of precautions you can take as well if you feel that that's not safe for you. As an individual, you can go and buy your own personal helmet and definitely use that. If you feel that where another helmet is not safe for you, you can take a lot of preventive measures from actually getting you incur or encounter some sicknesses if you feel that that's a dangerous route. Because other countries in Africa have done that. They are using the same helmet while people are now falling sick to the streets, all that. So they are just finding way of avenues to actually undermine this. I think that's a welcoming idea. I think everybody should follow suit and make sure that they support the government in developing our country, because we can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results, basically. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's hold you there and take another person on this.
Taking 3 more calls now, send 3 more, okay? If we can.
Okay. So, hello.
Hello.
Yes, you're live. Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, this is Jacob Stevens, and I call you from my Congo Town residence.
Jacob, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm monitoring the show. People proving that they got ideas, and everybody. You know, we are in the last day. We are studying Bantamake at all times. The Liberian people are not stupid when they say they don't want to use helmet. We are aware of the danger. There are several measures also put in place. Make sure those guys be in the queue. You have your officers and come down high on them because they are the ones that are very quick in compromising. They are the problem for this country for little or nothing. So you have to come down the officers. They make sure the safety measures already in place and then go by it. The helmet is not the only problem. High helmet, then accident happen, you will not even survive.
Thank you very much. Let's hold you there and take the second to the last call. Hello. Okay, hello, you're live.
The Leonard Doctor, Dr. Richardson.
If you could drink coffee, I want to say you same with tonight. Thank you for taking that.
That reason can drink coffee.
Yeah, that acid dude, man. He and Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, you're too smart. Stop pushing negative thing about our country. You're not the only person that love Liberia. You need to stop. You used to give advice to this government. You work in every government, and I hope I will not get you one consented position, and you now testify from the government. I can tell you, you can preach all your negative thing, you can write all you want. You will not get no consented saying in the government. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So we take the final call now. We go to the local line here. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you're live. Let's hear you.
Mama, pay my way to come to the accident and then get my input.
Oh, okay. Thank God you not pay your way to come.
Yeah, because my father fancy about it. Okay, my name is Elita Nusabey. I'm calling you from Niso community. Yeah, to the point, my brother. I want to say many things in relation to the police for today. I think the money other people to do.
Your line is very low. You're coming in.
I said I was listening to QFN this morning. Some of the motorcyclists were demonstrating where the people they wanted to kill the new president. Well, I went to town today to buy my market where to Waterside. Those that respect rule and regulation. I said today in their safety gear. They carry passenger with helmet, and they have their reflective jacket. They have shoes on their feet. We all were in Waterside together today, although the traffic, we stayed a little longer in traffic. But those that respect law, they went by the measure today. I left from 2021, I went in Africa, in Ghana to buy goods. My brother, you will not believe that when I crossed on our border, when I entered Benue, I bought a bag from there. Before reaching in somewhere, they got a gate there. The helmet that they gave me, I didn't put the helmet on my head. When we reached to the gate, the people told us to go back. It was a distance like 1 hour, 30 minute ride. The police said, if we go back, we can't cross that gate. We stood to that place, the mobile guard to the people, he begged, the people said they will not return that body around with our back. We went to set it down in a place, we sat down there for some time. After some time, before we could go back to cross, only because I never put the helmet on my head. Our other people say, oh, when you get left, then my grandpa say, oh, the safety measure, in fact, the people will get safe, people will get that. In other country, people are not even looking at that. Yeah. I want to say thank you to all of you. I want to say thank you to my mother, Richardson. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your input, Dr. Richardson. I think that's it for now.
Yeah, so thank you, callers. Thank you, viewers and commentators. It was a great show today. We're going to move to doing our closing. We will continue to talk about this issue as it arises. We want definitely the Minister of Transportation to come back here. He was here now, and also the IG to come back. We need some clarification on this subject matter. We are not just here to talk about the government. We're here to talk. We're going to hold your feet to the fire for the Liberian people. You did one thing, but there's a lot more that you have to do. So we're going to move to our closing, and we'll start with Fadiga, and then Sam Jackson, and then Mr. Kennedy, Glendy, Mr. Tukba, and then I'll come in last.
Well, it was a great show. I liked the last caller, and somehow a lot of women call. But women do use bikes a lot. They tend to love these bikes. They tend to move around freely. But I think we need to give this a chance. Let us test it. The police needs to enforce it. I know there are a couple of police that want to look the other way, but we need to enforce this. Few days from now, a few weeks from now, look, folks like Isaac Jackson and Samuel and Uncle Sam, these guys are carrying on massive subversion. What they refuse to do, look, for the last 6 years, these guys had this laissez-faire attitude. They chose politics over policy. They refuse to do anything because in their mind, those are the voting bloc, And by looking the other way, they will get votes. We saw the same thing with drugs addiction. Most of the ghettos that I went to see raids, I saw these guys had these big banners with we have photos and pictures. I couldn't understand why. But after being around for some time, I realized that nobody cared what they did there, whether they were running ghettos and running the thing. So in the last 6 years, not that they brought drugs, but it exacerbated the situation. And I try to piggyback a little to the state of the country and the mindset with folks that actually doing something. Everything, it will not work. Because you refuse to do something doesn't mean it will not work in this government. This government have the will to do it. They want to see it happening. I think we're happen. We just not. We need to stop caving into the politics. Election. I don't think we have any elections coming in anytime soon. So let us do the right thing for this country, because no Liberian wolf dying because I'm poor. I gotta pour ends meet. That doesn't mean you have to die for it. I calculated 5 accidents in our daytime, motorcycle accident, one after another, just by driving around in the city. These are preventable deaths. When we move from motorcycle, we need to start getting into the vehicles. People need to start wearing the seatbelt, probably enforcing the law. I know a few African countries, get off your phone. You can't be distracted in the kind of traffic that we have. You will kill someone. Most of the death in this place are because people are not paying attention. People are reckless. They are not paying attention. No seatbelt. Playing on the phone, looking on social media. A lot of different things. So we need to put in this safety measure and then let me close on this helmet thing. Look at the other guy say epilepsy. You see, ignorance too is another thing. So we need to do a lot of education. I know with COVID thing, that was the only risk I see. Buy your hands, your sanitizer, sanitize your stuff and put it on. Sanitize it. If you believe that you don't want to wear a helmet and other thing, but it's one thing that besides being enclosed, the air, something. If you feel uncomfortable, sanitize it. Put it on or buy your own. If you have to use motorcycle and you're concerned about health something, but the health risk is minimal compared to falling down and cracking your skull. You won't be worried about getting sick. You'll be worried about dying.
Thank you.
So I will leave it at that. It was a great show. Hope we have something else tomorrow.
Thank you, Fadiga. Before I go on to Mr. Jackson, I want to just draw attention to Ruth Nemi. She is saying that she's going to make. Say that again.
Nimne.
No, that's not Nimle.
It is Nimne.
Nimine.
Nimine.
Okay, so I have to say Nimle.
I said you can't lie.
No, sorry, Miss. Sorry. I'm looking at the syllabus in the pronunciation.
You're from Pogmire. You're from Pogmire, not from Newtown.
Nimini. Ruth Nimini. The most important thing that you said, I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but I like the fact that she said she's going to send her own water to the police to encourage them on Wednesday that the change come with pain and we must face the pain. So thank you, Ruth. I will be sending my own water to a particular setting where they are. Thank you. Okay, Glendy.
No, not Glendy. That's Sam. By time you said.
Sam. Sorry.
Okay,
so I get off the thing, my people.
Okay, so since the Unity partisans that were calling, they want to make this about Sam Jackson versus public safety. Let me just put something in their heads, okay? I'm a Lapa woman's son from Sonimwe that went to St. Patrick because my man sold fish in the market. Fanti Basa woman sold fish in the market to send me to school. She didn't send me to school for source or because what they call it conventional wisdom, because everybody say it good, I would say it's good. If I was going to be where everybody say to go join them, I would be in the position I'm in today to be known as somebody who is independent minded and to live the kind of life that I live. I live the kind of life I live because of my independence, the independence in my head. Listen to me. I support the police. The IG means well. But once again, let me use a big English. Policy incoherence. What is policy incoherence? When you want to put in a regulation, you have to sit down, you have to have expert advice, You have to study it, and you have to get a feedback, what they call it, consultation from the public. Today, everybody says the police did well. Of course, the police did well. The police did their jobs. But the consequences of the police doing their job, a lot of Liberians in Monrovia, it was a harrowing experience for them. Talk to the students who were walking for hours. Talk to Paul Kennedy, okay, who spent 2.5 hours in traffic. Talk to Dr. today. Yes, he said he posted it. He said he spent 2 hours. Speak to Dr. Brookler. Maybe that what made him sick today. He can't even come on the team because he was 2.5 hours in traffic today. Okay? So you want to kind of make it an issue about me? Oh, that St. Jackson brother work for every government. That's allowed. I want to work for government 3.5 years. From 1981 to 2002, I was not in your country. I was not in your war. I was on Wall Street and I was in Southern Africa building a career for myself. Okay? I said, I'm not going to let Jika, let me finish. I'm not going to let Jika Fleet person that can come here and you can kind of make public policy about me versus the government of Liberia. Many people who agree with me are on the other side of the political divide. So if the social elite and the neoconservatives don't understand that public policy have to be married to social equity, that's their business. You can cost me, you can cost, but one thing will not cost me is my mom put a lot of sense in my head to be independent and not to be loved, not to be cherished, but to always say the right thing, no matter how many people cost you. Just stay
we agree.
Because eventually, like I said it yesterday, I will prove right today, the whole Monrovia was shut down by this bad policy. And I feel sorry with my friend Greg he meant very well. And the police officer, if I myself, you have a drive to send water to let me finish. I myself, I was send $50 to buy water for police. Please, I beg you. I will send $50 to whoever for them to send the water to the police. I will send my money today, right now, to send water to the police to prove to y'all that I'm not against the police.
Send it to the station, Mr. Jackson. Miss.
Yeah, but yeah, put a what not cash app in the same way in my how you call it?
Okay, I will. I will send it.
If they pay you
$50 for the police.
Thank you.
If they pay you now to make all that negative noise and you get $50 from it, what?
That's zero.
That's easy.
That could have Mr. Kennedy. No, Mr. Kennedy. That could have Mr. Kennedy and Miss Kennedy, and then I was Isaac.
All right, thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right, that's good.
Please mute yourself. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mute yourself.
No, yes, when the gossip small.
No, we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear his locker room talk.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't want to hear Samuel Jackson bedroom talk.
Nope.
But I thought it was a very good show, and thank you, Dr. Richardson, for really focusing and moderating this important topic tonight. There were a few issues that came up. In fact, throughout the entire course, just by listening to the people, the Liberians calling in, it's a popular. You can assume that it is a popular action that was taken by the number of callers. I think I heard 1 or 2 persons with dissenting view, but the rest of the people thought that the ideas, the action put in place today was very good. There are people who are concerned about, the transfer of helmet from one rider to another. The conversation will come up, and the National Public Health will do a lot of awareness on what to do. On this podium tonight, I will not be speaking on behalf of National Public Health Institute. I'm giving my expert professional background as a public health professional and a physician assistant. There are some concerns about, being contaminating helminths and acquiring communicable diseases. The concern is realistic, but the prospect or the possibility of transfer of diseases are, manageable. And what am I saying when I mean manageable? So there are prospects of transferring maybe tuberculosis or COVID, flu, the influenza. Those things are possible if someone wearing the helmet with sneeze and the particles get stuck on the helmet because it's too close to your mouth. But the chances of it being transferred, is really slim. So one way we can do to protect it is you carry a little, whether it's napkins or towel, and you spray into the helmet and wipe it and put it on, or you wear the mask. The face mask we used to wear.
Yes.
You wear the face mask. That way you are not in any direct contact with any contaminant that is stuck up in there. And then, just like we all used to walk around with hand sanitizer, you can always rub the hand sanitizer on the paper towel or on a napkin and just go like this in and out of where your face and your nose will sit, and you wear it. Look, we've not done the research to know the number of contaminants and how it is easily spread through wearing helmets, right? Most of the viruses that are running around there are, somehow weak and has the possibility or likelihood of being transferred. But when you spray it with 70% alcohol, it will not exist for a long period of time. So I think it's manageable, and some people raising the concern have relevant concerns, but the National Public Health Institute will come up with a official statement and health risk communication on what to do if people have such concerns.
Perfect.
What I thought was no, I'm giving public service announcement.
Yeah, two more seconds left. 2 more seconds left, please. Yes.
Public service announcement cannot be what I thought.
It should be. I told you from a professional.
Thank you, Ava.
No, Ava, I told you from a professional background. Any announcement coming will not be different from this. So don't Tony, give me one more minute. But I thought the show went very well. People have some dissenting view. Look, did the rollout was the rollout perfect? No, that's not what anybody is saying on this forum, or at least not me. I'm not saying the rollout was perfect. The timing could have been better, coordinated. The way it could have been rolled out incrementally. I mean, there are several things that could have been done right, but of course, my friend Vavule Tule always say, failure to plan is planning to fail.
Correct.
As we're seeing in many things done in Liberia, most of the time we jump to it and then we learn through the process. Just like Glenn said, I think this is a learning curve for government. Government should be able to do some studies through their rollout today to see what will happen, but this dot will settle down. By the end of this week, if they continue what they're doing and doing it the right way, the Liberian people will come to agree with it. You already heard a popular view, and this will be good for our country. I think the people should wear helmet, and 2 persons should be on the bike. And somebody talk about noise. I said we need to also run a campaign for the people to start playing loud music in the community. You are only allowed to have access to 70 decibels of noise. The one we are hearing outside from all the nightclubs there in the street, open, they're just playing music. It's too much for me now. I can't make it. I'm going crazy. That why everybody just talking loud. So now you hear me shouting here. It's because the noise making me to look stupid now. So
noise pollution is a thing.
Can do. So thank you. It's a good show. I think we should continue to educate the Liberian people through this medium. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Glendy.
So before I do my closing, I want to send shout out to one of my relatives, Adama Gant. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Adama. And also to Bien Kesseli, there are two Bien Kesseli, but my brother Bien Kesseli, not our brother. I want to say. So to Bien Kesseli,
Bien Kesseli, my brother too.
Okay, to our brother Bien Kesseli, I want to say happy birthday. I'm glad that Uncle Sam is back, because my closing is going to be directed towards him. I'm going to read something that someone sent, and I'm going to use that for my closing before I close. It's not very long. I'm not going to say what they said in the opening, but they said, during Sam Jackson's time, Monrovia had law and order. Now he doesn't want any semblance of peace and civility. He's trying his best to stay relevant in every conversation, Monrovia was not shut down today. There was traffic, but we were able to go to work, and the economy was able to function. The city was calm. The police did their work, and there was law and order. Today was like a regular inspection. I don't understand what Sam Jackson is talking about. And just like that caller that said, the government will not give Sam Jackson position. They will not give it to him. Samuel Jackson is someone that we should look to for wisdom, irregardless of what side or which side of the aisle he finds himself on. We must look to him because he has he should have the moral compass. He has the educational background. He has the experience. He's been there. We must be able to be we must be critical of things that are wrong, but we also must be objective. This is a good step forward to promote safety in Liberia. We understand all of the pieces, the rollout, everything. But in the end, when someone like Sam Jackson speaks, we must take the positivity from him on what has happened today. But everything we've heard, based on all of the callers, every single one of the callers condemn what I know he's entitled to his opinion. But the fact that we're here and we have an opportunity to be in his midst, it is important that Samuel Jackson speaks truth to power. And if he doesn't, we will continue to correct him. What he's done today, it's wrong. What happened in Liberia today, it's a good thing. And we appreciate the government for the step forward. They will correct all the wrongs that they've done, hopefully, and they will move forward. Thank you very much. Good show, Dr. Richardson.
Thank you, Glendy. Mr. Tukwa?
Yeah, let me be like myself. Look, we always have naysayers, right? This stuff has started. It's a new process. It will take some time to get embedded. But with anything, it's the will to do it. And today, the police demonstrated the will to do this. Now, it got to be about sustaining it, making sure that our prophet on the show, his prophecy doesn't come true, that by the end of this week, which is only 2 more days or 3 more days, if you want to add Saturday, right? For things to go back to status quo. No, we don't want that to happen. Let's move on. Let's make it happen. Look, I was looking at something just now about decibels and noise, right? So like they say, a whisper is like 30 decibel. You know, if you're talking moderately about 50 to 60, that motorcycle is like 100 decibels, nearly like neckcloth sound you're dealing with consistently. And then when a whole drone of them are in the environment, that's significant noise. We're not going to take that away. That's one of the major means of transportation for our people. But to the extent that we can save one life, then we have accomplished something. And I'm sure with this, helmet thing and just certain standards in terms of registration, in terms of, license, in terms of insurance, and then if they can add training, I want to know who I've advocated for people to train before they even get on the road as drivers of motor car. So the same kind of training should be required for people who ride, bicycles. And then some kind of way, we got to communicate traffic signals to our people. We have so much room to improve. And if we can do these little things, as Gregory is starting now, I will take our hat off to him and we'll try to support him. So, hopefully more people will get on board with this. The negativity will go away and we have, a normal form of life. But there are also other people who say we should be trying to support our people in terms of the actions they're supposed to take, right? So let's lay out for people, look, when you get on a motorcycle, ensure you yourself got to be part of the process to make sure the person driving that motorcycle got a helmet, that they also have one helmet available for you. So the people got to be involved in this process as well. I saw some pictures with some people wearing paint, plate, yeah, you can make fun of the process, but at the end of the day, that part of pain will not save your life. That helmet could save your life. So hopefully more people respond to this and we move ahead. So thank you for the show. I know somebody said I should have come earlier, but hey, the show lives. The show is appreciated by a lot of people, and hopefully we can all continue to be a part of this show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tupa. I have a few things to say. I'm going to make 2 announcements that I have. One is tomorrow at 3:00, we're going to have the Road Safety Action International coming here to speak to us about some of the statistics. You heard Mr. Kennedy did say that Liberia has a very high fatality rate when it comes to traffic and road safety concerns. So they're going to be here. Eric Judge is his name. He's going to be here giving us more of that statistics, but he's going to come at 3:00 instead of 4:00 to avoid getting into spoon talk. So please join me if you can, panelists, for us to have a wonderful show with Mr. Eric Judge. On Friday, we're going to have Madam Hester Baker, Madam Robina Lewis, Representative Ricks, and also Dr. Kula. They were all here before. We raised money for tourism in Liberia. We know that there's going to be a surfing tournament that is happening in Rowersport, Grand Cape County. I love saying that. That's the home of my father's family. And so all roads lead to Cape Mount, Rowersport, Cape Mount. We want to come and support this venture. We always complain, oh, the foreigner in our country, they develop in our country. Please come, give your $1, give your $25, give your $1,000. Let it be our own contribution to development in our country, the tourism business. At the end of this fundraising, Miss Connie will come and give you a breakdown for the transparency purposes. For transparency purposes, she's going to come and give us a breakdown of what we gather and all of that. So thank you very much. I hope to see you on Friday. My thoughts, it was a wonderful show. As many of you suspect, I've been in the classroom for 20 years, so I definitely appreciate dissent. I will not take anybody off the show because you have a different view than mine. If I would have been such a person, such a woman in my feeling, to the extent that how many of you say that I'm in my feeling, I wouldn't have stayed in the classroom for 20 years. I appreciate dissent. In fact, that's a tenet of democracy. That's how we grow. So you can come and say your own, but just speak the facts. If you don't speak the facts, and if I can counter your argument with a fact, as I do in the classroom, I will. I will find all of the evidence to say this is what I'm talking about. And that's all I like to say. Many of you talk about training. Mr. IG, we want you to come back to speak more about this. Tell us, your experience. Liberian people want to hear from you. So there's 4 persons in this whole business here, four parties, I believe, in this whole business. That's the driver who needs to be trained. He needs to know, how to follow the safety rules. He needs to understand the reason behind the helmet, the reason why behind wearing shoes and traffic laws, Then we have the passengers. The passengers, you have to be very alert. You have to be alarmed to make sure that everyone's following the rules around you. If you see something, you say something. This saying that they repeat at different airports in the United States since 9/11. You see something, you say something. It is part of our civic responsibility as Liberians, in the country. You, the passenger, and Liberians as a whole, to report when things are not working. I hope that the IG and also the Department of Transportation have a website. The president talked about educating students to be technologically savvy. That's a good place to start. Have a website where we can put our complaints, where citizens can say, oh, on the boulevard, I saw 10 people today. They were not wearing their helmets. Please make sure you send someone there. That would be a great way for you to appreciate feedback from the Liberian people. I also want to say the addiction issue is something that we should address, because a lot of our fatalities, our accidents, appears to be the result of addiction issues. A lot of people talk about inappropriate transportation. We need to improve means of transportation, maybe getting some of those mini buses that will take people. Maybe the reason why we're having some of our backlog in the traffic situation, traffic jam, is because people don't have ways to travel. So I think our government can look into investing more in the transportation sector. I'm not talking about those gigantic size buses that we can bring to Liberia that are meant for other improved roads. Bring something that is, conducive to our roads. I really have made the analogy between safety, investments, and also money in the pockets of others, and a better Liberia. So see it at that way. Don't see it as, the people are trying to impose the rules on us. We're gonna not listen to the rules, or we're gonna be oppositional, or no, this is for the best interest of our country. The safer our country is, the better the more investors want to come, the better it will be for us. Because when an investor comes, they bring their money, they can bring companies with them, then you can get higher, and you'll be able to, live a much comfortable life. There'll be more equity in our country. But how can you allow that? There's no investor coming, people are dying every day. All of those statistics, people look at it before they come to our country. So that's what I want to just make the analogy to that. Short of that, I want to just tell every one of you, thank you for joining us. Thank you for calling. We've implemented the like, share. The share button has always been there. Continue to share the show even after the show. Continue to hit star if you like something that Glennie said, if you like something that Mr. Jackson said, you like something that Asa Tupa said, Patrick Kennedy said, whoever on the show, what I said, whoever on the show, or you just like Spoon, you just love Spoon, you have different options in terms of hitting star. This is a way to continue the progress of the show here. Another thing, Mr. Stenton, I know you guys are asking, he brings his fire and pepper to the show. He is here. He's just not here with us on the show, but he's doing well. As many people ask, where is Stenton? Where is Stenton? I'm sure he's happy to read your comments and to know that you guys are concerned about him, but he is here. He's doing okay. Shut up that. I want to just thank you, everybody, Mr. Jackson, Glendy, Isaac, Mr. Kennedy, who else was here? Fadika was here with us, and all of the panelists. Thank you for all that you do for our own Mama Liberia. Thank you. Okay, guys, I'll see you later. Okay.
I'm saying good night.
Nelson, thank you so much, bro. We're about to leave. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Uncle Sam, call me. I'm not calling you, but you think I vex, you won't come placate me? And I vex for you. I feel sorry for you. Very sorry for you. You're not going to listen. You will feel it. You're not going to listen. You will feel it.
Because I thought different thing.
You want to placate me? You want to pacify me? No need to pacify the bastard boy from Sony Wen. I will take it. My body is a body of steel.
I grew up in Blamo Town. You know what they call Looking Down Resto? Behind that place, there's a place called Blamo Town.
Man. Move from here.
So, Mr. Jackson, Nelson, can you send Mr. Jackson a link where he can send money?
Yeah, I will send my $50 to Greg and the police. I'll be very happy to do that.
And then I will talk to Miss Titi to see where we can send my own contribution to the police getting water to more at one of the stations.
50 United States dollars to the police to show the sweetness of my heart.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Thank God, and Nelson, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye, Nelson. Nelson. Okay, thank you so much for your hard work.
Yeah, that's what Richie saying. Thank you too. And I think the Liberian people are well pleased with the way you moderated the show today. And yeah. So I think that the agency has some controls now. It's not just moderating and not having the control. So
that's right. Thank you,
the
guys.
agency will put you in the back now.
Yes.
And a lot more.
Thank you very much, Nelson, for whoever in the station that decided to give me this control. That was very helpful. We will have a great show. We'll continue to have the information that is what the Liberian people want to hear, and I also like the inclusiveness. I appreciate their feedback, and we will have to give this a chance, Nelson. It didn't start on a good foot. I wish they would. I know the stat that I brainstorm. We may not appreciate the way how they roll things out, but this is what we need. This is what our country needs. And many people who called, actually that surprised me. I thought they were going to be resentful to this move because of change. But a lot of Liberian people who called this station today were very supportive, which I was very happy about that.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. And it's been that way throughout. From my observation throughout in the streets today, that's how it's been. And there's a good number of people who are embracing this as well. There's a very good number.
That's a good sign. Liberians are just tired, They're just tired. They want to change, and we want to hold this government to its feet, because not because we support this movement. There are a lot of other things that this government still has to do, and we are going to be asking you. I would like to invite the IG back. I'll probably give more calls tonight, or I'm sure the CEOs, Miss Kenneth, Titi Kenneth, and also Stanton would definitely be calling them to come back to explain to Liberian people. The Liberian people would like to hear from you. I want the Department of Transportation, the Minister of Transportation has to come back. And all those who are involved in the planning of this process, I'm sure they're having some kind of team talk that's going on, because this is a sort of interdisciplinary approach to things. The different departments, I'm sure, are involved in this. Department of Transportation, the police department, there's the different people who are responsible for the civic service organizations in the country for educating everyone. So yeah, it was a wonderful show, Nelson. I'll let you go because I know you want to take a little breather before your show tonight. But it was a great show. Thank you so much for being in the background and for producing the show for us.
Yes, that's a rich thing. And another thing, you remember the gentleman that was hosted here last evening, John Kale.
Yes, Mr. Kale, the president of the Motorbiker Association.
Yeah, so I think it was one of the callers who raised that issue, but also I got a text that there was some threat on his live today.
Oh my God!
And so I've tried reaching him several times, even in the midst of the show while I was in the background, but the phone was just ringing. It's just ringing and no response. So at any point, once we get him, probably maybe since the spoon talk is over, maybe on the late night show we'll talk to him. That's if we get him to know what's happening with him. Usually the leaders of these kinds of groups, when there is an exercise, like this, especially where he was at the forefront and trying to make sure that it succeeds, those who are against it will have a way of retaliating. And I think, but we will try to reach out to him as well.
Yes, please do. We put our prayers out to him. We'll continue keeping our prayers. Hope that all will be well. People, this is not worth somebody's life. I beg you, Liberian people, okay? Let's disagree with him, but it's not worth calling him and threatening him. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. He's a human being, Let's keep that in mind. It's the moment in time. So I'll let you go, Liberians. Thank you for joining us, and we'll go tomorrow. We'll see you again, same time, same place. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, many thanks to Dr. Richardson, and thanks to you, Liberians out there, for being here with us tonight. Again, many thanks to our folks in Radio Land across the country on the Spoon Network, Spoon 107.5 FM, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. Thanks to all of you who have been following as well on the other frequencies across the country, whether Trust FM in Bowman County, Premier FM in Bond County, Trend Radio in Grand Crude, or Gibby FM. We appreciate all of you. Thanks to our online audience, thousands of you following across the internet tonight. We appreciate you. Thanks to the folks on YouTube, following on Spoon Talk Live, our YouTube handle. Thanks to all of you on Facebook. So many of you have been following via Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV. We appreciate you. Kindly share the program. Always share the program once we come on. We will definitely appreciate that. And thanks for being here with us tonight. Till we come your way again, Spoon Talk is taking it's off for tonight. We're drawing down the curtains on the show. But just before we go, I I want to send a very, I want to say happy wedding anniversary to one of the ardent followers of Spoon. It's always following the show, making his contribution, whether in the comment section, all of that. Mr. Amos Wayford and your wife, Emily Wayford, you both celebrated your first wedding anniversary yesterday. So happy anniversary to you both as you clock 1 year in your marriage, and best wishes and thanks for being a follower of the Spoon Network. Folks, on that note, that's how I would like to draw down the curtains on this edition of the program. Many thanks to all of you out there. Spoon Talk will be back on your radio tomorrow. Coming up at 12 tonight is the late night show, the late night politics on Spoon. We'll be back here. That's in about 30 minutes from now. You can make up time to join us. Until then, have a good night. My name is Nelson Collet. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah, 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 Tuto Spoon.